DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025. The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. We hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday. This is an all-points bulletin for Willy Donick's hat. Willy Donick has experienced what I would call his first senior moment. Willy is missing a hat he wore for all 3 hours of the program yesterday. We have no idea where this hat is. Nick Frazier just walked in, checked Willy's car.
My heart is sinking right now.
Oh, wow.
It was not in the car. Willy, fill in the good folks on what's going on.
All right. So I leave the show yesterday. I wore the Dennison big red hat that I wore for the national championship run. Like I wore it for the big games. Like it was, so it's not just any hat. Like, okay, I'll get another one like it if it doesn't turn up. But so it's not just any hat. It's a hat that has some meaning. I walked out of the studio with it.
Mm-hmm.
I witnessed Derek Mason saw me with the hat on. I mean, the video will show that I had it on all the way to the end of the show. So that takes us to 6 p.m. Central. Is this daylight savings time?
No, Central time.
Central time. I got into my car. Usually my routine is I take the hat off in the car, fling it in the back seat or the passenger seat for the ride. I get out of the car when I get home. I grab my stuff, and the hat's nowhere to be found. So where is the hat? I text correspondent Connor Newt, who I feel like is probably maybe still at the station. So I texted him. I said, "Are you still at the station? I may have left my hat there. Did I leave it in the studio? Is it in the bathroom? Is it in the parking lot? Did I chuck it near my car? Drop it near the car?" He does a search. He gets back to me promptly, says, "Can't find the hat." Put the word out to the people in the station. Keep an eye out for a red hat. I continue to search today. Hasn't turned up. Now for reference, am the guy in the family that finds things. I'm a good finder. Other absentee, other people absent-minded, lose stuff, they come to me. I'm the guy that finds the stuff. So, man, when I lose something, I get rattled. So I've been rattled all day. And then I came to the station today hoping that it would just be in the bushes or something. Like it's got to be something. It's got to be
check the bushes.
I checked the bushes.
Okay.
I mean, if I got to go back out there and dive in again, I might have to do it.
So
where is it?
Do you really believe that you had that hat on when you left out of your car to go into your house?
I didn't. I know
you were not.
I noticed it was
not.
To it. I noticed I didn't have it when I got out of the car to go into the house. So it was already gone by then.
So between the station and your house.
So I took it off after the show, I thought in the car. So the most likely spot
Did you stop at the gas station?
Never stopped at the gas station.
And for the record, Willy does not drive a convertible.
No. Did you have the windows open?
The windows were not open because it was raining on and off.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. And I usually don't have the windows open.
Okay.
So we brought in the man, Nick Frazier.
Okay.
Even just minutes ago. And we said, if there's a guy that can maybe look places that I wouldn't look, it would be him. He came back empty-handed. So my heart has sunk. So now I'm really at a loss. If Frazier can't find it, what the heck did I do?
Have you tried the trunk? Did lose it? It was when you got in the car. Somewhere between you getting in the car and you pulling off.
Yeah.
You lost that hat.
Yeah.
What you're saying,
don't
Connor?
understand.
Have you tried your trunk?
Frazier was instructed to check the trunk.
Okay.
I did not open the trunk at any point from the end of the show until now, presumably when Frazier checked it. So I don't think it's in there. He looked. So where could it be?
Okay, hold on. We've got some texters on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHunted.com with some questions. One texter says, Did you stop to get gas? Did you lock your door? Was there a PT Cruiser around?
A Rex Road.
Why?
Yes.
A Rex Road incident.
Yes. Did the same person who stole Rex Road's laptop steal your hat? But you did not stop.
I went directly back to the east side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was not hat napped.
Did you check your front yard? Your driveway?
No. But I noticed it. But I noticed it missing before I left my car to go into the house. So it was already gone. When I gathered my stuff
here is a good
to get out of the car to go into the house, that's what I noticed was gone. So I have concluded it cannot be in the house or in the yard.
Here is a good text by Ben, because this is something that's happened to me. Ben says, any chance you ever set stuff on top of your car and it might have been there when you took off?
Possibly.
You put the hat down.
I'm not going to discount that, but I'm thinking that would have been covered by the Connor Newt search party after the show.
It covered all bases of the building. I asked the cleaning crew if they had seen it. They did not.
So this is a mystery.
One texter wants to know if you can review the security footage of the parking lot.
That might be something we have to track. I mean, we got to do what we got to do. Did we have that?
We've got security footage. Y'all can see it right there in the other room.
Okay. Can we go back to approximately 5:56 to 6:03?
That's above my pay grade.
This may be a phone Chase McCabe thing.
Yes.
We know you're on vacation. But
we might need to get
This is
Chase.
very important.
We need to get Chase off the beach and back to the office. This is an emergency.
This is what happens when he leaves.
Willie has lost his hat. I will tell a funny story quickly along the lines of Ben's text. When I was in high school, I once left my cell phone on the roof of my car and drove all the way home, and the cell phone was on the roof the whole time. Didn't fall off. I don't know how it happened.
No way.
Don't know how it happened.
I have had many.
That means you don't speed.
A coffee mug or something.
Famously, I have never received a speeding ticket in my 20 plus years of driving. So that is true.
These are the things that we learn over the years. Adam, that's a very exclusive club, I would think, to never have been stopped.
Well,
for a speeding ticket.
Brian says, do you carry a computer bag or a backpack and possibly stuck it in there? I'm only speaking from experience on that one.
I do, and I have thoroughly checked the backpack. I don't know, but it's not in there. I mean, I've double checked, triple checked. I will continue to, because it's got to be there somewhere.
One texter says, could you have been abducted by aliens?
It's that. I've not crossed that off the list. I'm willing to consider all theories at this point.
One texter says, I just drove past a Bulls hat on the road. It's not a Bulls hat, unfortunately. It's a Dennison big red hat. So this Bulls hat may also be red.
Same colors.
But it is not a Bulls hat that Willie is wearing. A couple of texters want to know if you may have dropped it getting out of your car. Willie has said he got in the car and drove directly home. He made no stops between the station and pulling into his driveway.
I have instructed Nick Frazier to check in between your seats and under them within your vehicle.
Okay. I feel like I've done that, but it is not a problem to try that again.
All of you know that there's like a blind spot when you drop something in between your seats. There's a part of it where you can't see it.
Right.
You can't see down there. You can't grab down there. So maybe it's in that blind spot. I don't know.
I had a lot of, because it was raining, so I had like a raincoat. I had like a couple other hats, like pullover. I had the pickleball paddle. So there's stuff around. So I was gathering a bunch of stuff. So stuff got rummaged. I'm quite sure of that. But when I gathered it all, it just didn't turn up.
One texter says, "Have you checked your head?"
It's not a bad question. It's not.
You
a
are
bad
wearing
question.
a different hat today.
I got a different hat today. I'm going Northeastern. Yeah,
today.
my other child,
honoring
Evans Donick.
Yes,
Northeastern graduate. I'm going with that one today.
Also, David Boyle.
David Boyle. Yes.
Shout out David Boyle.
So I'm.
You're flabbergasted.
I'm a little bit rattled. A little baffled.
You're at a loss for words.
So we're going to keep working on this investigation. There has to be an explanation.
What's the old saying? Sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one. I think that's right. Something along those lines.
Car. either
the putting
when
it
you
on
were
top of
getting
the
in or
car
getting out.
could have happened. But
I
feel
think
like
that is
Connor would have seen it in the parking lot.
But it probably fell off once you got down the street. If it was on top of the car.
Oh, now that's a theory.
Yes,
That's a theory.
I'm going with that
theory.
I'm going with that one.
Mike in Dixon says, sounds like a Geritol moment. LOL.
Yes, no question.
Oh,
Nick still didn't
Frazier.
find it.
Frazier's come up empty.
Nick.
Not between the
Frazier.
seats.
Comes up empty-handed.
Okay, so I think the best theory we have right now is I put it on top of the car.
Hold on. We've got a
Oh,
text
boy.
I've got to read.
Oh boy.
Ooh, this one hurts. A Duke fan has it. He just wants to feel what it's like to wear a national championship hat again.
Wow.
It's been a while for them. Go Heels. All right. Okay. All right. Texter. All right. I see what you did.
Turning it back on Bingen.
Ben says, my bet, you set it on the car and somebody grabbed it wherever it fell off.
The wherever it fell off. So that opens up a lot of possibilities because retracing the steps, it could be in a ditch. It could have been in the middle of the highway. Like you said,
I'm sure it's about
it
200
hung
feet
in
from
there.
here. It's about 200 feet from here.
It couldn't have been far. So yeah. So the next thing could be to send Frazier along the road. Frazier, go scope Murfreesboro Road.
Which way did you go?
We're going to have
It's not
Frazier.
dangerous. It's not dangerous
Not
at
at
all.
all.
I'm gonna walk across the street to the Sonic and see if they've seen it.
We're going to have Frazier do a live call-in. All right, I'm
He's gonna
on
comb.
Murfreesboro Road. I don't see a hat.
There's a $3 reward starting.
And if it's still there, it's got to be pretty tattered. By now.
Willie
It
will
could take
buy
a
you
beating.
something from the vending
It
machine.
goes up to $5 if it comes back intact.
What if he brings back like the bill and that's it?
At least we'll know the answer to the mystery.
exactly. So you get $250.
It's half.
Yeah.
I think.
And to be
we're on
clear,
something.
we're talking about $2.50,
$2.50,
not
yes.
$250. Brandy says, my phone stayed on top of the car for 5 miles before it flew off.
Ooh.
The distance between my house growing up and the grocery store was under 5 miles. So I don't know how long it was, but I remember, you check your pockets and you're like, where's my phone? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know where it is.
Mhm.
And then I went out into the garage and it was on top of the car. And I'm like, there's no way that cell phone went from the grocery store to my house on the roof this whole time.
That
Barely
shows that
moved,
but it
that
did.
You're a good driver, man.
It's a
Look at it that
smoothness.
way.
It's a
Exactly.
smooth ride. You have.
Absolutely.
Craig says Vingen traded the hat along with all of the other Predators players he wants shipped out. Like, why are we dunking
Why did
on
we circle
me?
back to you,
Why are
Adam?
we dunking on me? I'm not the one who lost the hat.
Sorry, we brought it up.
One texter
Oh,
says there
man.
has to be a word of the day for this. Maybe perplexing. Perplexing is a good word. I'm going to go with vexing.
Yes.
I think this situation is vexing for Willy Donick. One texter says it's rained since then, so it's probably in a storm drain under the city. Call Master Splinter of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fame.
Master Splinter.
B-Man says, I'm on Murfreesboro Road right now. I am keeping my eyes peeled. Thank you, B-Man. You are
okay.
doing a public service.
That's huge.
615-737-1025. Where is Willie's
Where
hat?
is the red hat?
This is an all-points bulletin for Willy Donick's hat. Please return to 1824.
WWH.
Murfreesboro
Where's Willie's
Mike.
hat?
Where is Willie's hat? This is an incredible mystery. If you thought Who Shot Mr. Burns was a major cliffhanger, Who Has Willie's Hat is a completely different conversation.
Who shot
615
JR?
or Who Shot JR?
Yes, right up there with that.
615-737-1025. If you have any idea of where Willie's hat is, please call us or text us. 615-737-1025. One texter quickly says, I left a jar of the good stuff, let's call it, on my car
Oh,
roof
wow.
one time and drove all the way across town with it. Hey.
You were meant to have that.
The devil's lettuce, we should say.
Smoke weed every day. 615-737-1025. That is, that
It's
is
a-
not an
yeah.
endorsement.
Exactly.
615-737-1025. All right. Coming up next, other than Willie's hat, the three of us, Connor, you'll do it too. So the four of us are going to do an exercise we did around this time last year. We are going to attempt to construct the definitive list of current Nashville sports stars. We will explain how we're going to do it and start the process coming up next. 615-737-1025. 1025. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Charlotte Knights. First pitch is at 6:04 p.m. Catch all of the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, and Social Cantina. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 1025. The Game. Where are you, Willy's hat? If you've seen Willy's Dennison Big Red Hat, which he was wearing the entire show yesterday, and randomly, all of a sudden, disappeared when he got home. If you've seen it, 615-737-1025. One texter says, maybe Scott Hartnell took it for breaking his bobblehead. Who broke Scott Hartnell's bobblehead?
That would be me.
Okay, well,
it was a terrible accident.
There you go.
Then you've got it coming. Tommy says, is it possible someone in studio is cheap and holding on to the hat for a birthday gift so they can get out of buying a gift?
You got me.
Oh, wow. That's Connor.
We might have to review the surveillance footage. Might maybe give us another clue or two.
I'm not much of a thief, so I can tell you.
Much of a thief?
I'm not much of a thief.
Just say I'm not a thief. Just say I'm not a thief.
I'm not a thief.
There we go.
I have not stole the hat. Stolen the hat. I have not stolen the hat. All right. So about a year ago, we did this exercise, and we had a lot of fun with it. So we're going to do it again. We are going to attempt to construct the definitive list of current Nashville sports stars. And here are the ground rules. The athletes included on the list have to be, as I said, current Nashville sports stars. So we're not talking about all-time greats. We're not talking about legends. We're talking about players who are actively playing sports professionally or collegiately in Nashville or Middle Tennessee. Other ground rule. We are not, and we got in trouble, I think. We got ourselves in trouble with this last year. We are not including athletes who were born and or raised in Nashville who are playing in other cities. So, for example, Mookie Betts, right? Mookie Betts from our area, correct?
Overton High School.
Right. Mookie Betts excluded from this list because although he's from Middle Tennessee, he is not plying his trade in Middle Tennessee.
Right.
So
Joseph Newgarden.
Right.
Another
Joseph
one.
Newgarden.
And that's a gray area. We had a big debate on this last year, but for the purposes of this, we're eliminating those kind of guys because it just makes it, or women. It
muddies the water.
It just makes it a little less clear cut.
Yes. And because I said within Middle Tennessee, this does not include any athletes playing for the University of Tennessee. So
or Memphis,
but mostly the University of Tennessee,
or like the WNBA, or golf.
Right.
These are all like things that made it very complicated.
Yes.
And
so we're focused on the teams based in Middle Tennessee, primarily the Titans, the Predators, Vanderbilt, Nashville SC. If we have suggestions for athletes on other teams in this area, we are happy to take them. But we are going to attempt to come to a consensus. So we cannot move on until we all agree on a player's place on the list. So this show might be going until like 7:30. So we may have to preempt ESPN radio or something like that. But let's start here. I have the list of athletes I am going to include. And I want us to all agree on the list. If we have any additions or even subtractions, I don't think we're going to have any subtractions. But if we have any additions, speak now or forever hold your peace. And that includes you on our phone and text line, 615-737-1025. Here is the list I have right now. And this list has changed from last year. For example, last year, you could argue the biggest sports star in Nashville in summer 2025 was Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia no longer included in this because he's no longer playing for Vanderbilt. We did not include Cam Ward in this exercise a year ago because he had yet to play an NFL snap. So here are the athletes I have on the list right now. Jeffrey Simmons, Cam Ward, Roman Yossi, Philip Forsberg, Steven Stamkos, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Sam Surridge, and Hani Mukhtar. Am I missing anybody?
Maybe.
UC Saros?
I think you got to put him on at least the nominees.
Okay. So you want me to put Saros on the list? I'm happy to put Saros on the list.
Does that make 10 or is that 11?
Simmons, Ward, Yossi, Forsberg, Stamkos, Saros, Blakes, Tanner, Surridge, Mukhtar. That's 10. Okay. That's a good 10 is good.
Ryan O'Reilly? I'm just throwing names out there. Peter Skoronsky?
Let's all discuss. Should we?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with nominating people.
No.
everybody's got to make their own.
Well, how about I want
rankings.
to keep it to 10.
Give me Surridge's background.
Okay, hold on.
And then let's compare to some of these nominees.
Well, here's what I did.
Because this is like right now, it seems like a dictatorship. It's like let's agree on Adam's list.
No, I am open.
I think it might be.
I am open to suggestions. Let's start here. Do we all agree that the final list should have 10 names on it?
Yes.
No, I think we whittled it down to 10.
Yes.
So yeah, the final list should have 10.
The final list.
Okay, so here's CERN. Is that how you put
Sam Surridge?
Surridge. He was first team All-Star. First time All-Star this year, 25. He was the MVP, fan favorite player of the year for the Nashville SC. His stats, 24 goals, second in Golden Boot race, whatever that is, 30 goals, all comp set club record. So he set a club record this past season.
Okay.
I consulted with my man, Nick Frazier.
Sure.
Our resident soccer expert. He said Sam Surridge in his prime right now at the top of Nashville SC, Hani Mukhtar, correct me if I'm wrong out there, you're never a former, MLS MVP, but he is not in the prime of his career anymore. That's my understanding of Nashville SC. If I've got it wrong, you can correct me, 615-737-1025. But one texter says, Caleb says, you have to include Ryan O'Reilly for sure if you have the college people on there. LOL.
Are we factoring in things they've done other places? Like Ryan O'Reilly, for instance, won a Conn Smythe with St. Louis.
I think yes, no question.
I do think you have to include career. So, for example, last year,
that would whittle down a lot of people. I'm sorry for that, but that would whittle down a few people because their career, like Michaela and Tanner, their career isn't long.
No,
but a very short career.
It's open. Like there are many ways you can go about doing this. You can include career achievement. So, for example, Steven Stamkos has played 2 full seasons in Nashville, had a 40-goal year this past season, but he is associated generally with his time in Tampa Bay. Steven Stamkos is a star in the NHL. He is going to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's only been in Nashville for 2 years, though. So you can hold that against him in this ranking if you want. You can include where that player is right now in the hierarchy of their particular sport.
Mm-hmm.
You could make the argument Michaela Blakes is the best women's college basketball player in the country. Yeah, her career isn't long, but how many awards has she won or been in the running for in 2 years of Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
I think that's something you have to take into consideration.
Yes. I also think this would be part of this is part of the criteria I went by. Mm-hmm. If you just randomly went around the streets and asked people, who have you heard of these guys
in the Middle Tennessee area?
Yeah. In our area, what would you? I think that's a factor. Name recognition. So that's why I asked you to sort of lay out the credentials of Surridge because. We know, and probably there's some people going, I don't watch the Predators, so I don't know who these guys are. That's a factor, right? Whereas, generally speaking, more and more people are going to know who the Titans guys are, even though the Titans really, other than Jeffrey Simmons, don't have a big household name. Cam Ward is a bigger name than he is a player right now.
Yes, and you should include, or you can include, I'm not saying you should, you can include the overall popularity of the sport the athlete plays. So, to Willy's point, the Titans players will probably get more credit in something like this because they play for the local professional football team.
Right. Where to place Cam Ward was a big thing in my mind. That was a challenge. Where to put him fairly because of what you just said. He's the quarterback of the Titans. He's the first pick in the draft. He hasn't done anything yet. He had some of the worst stats of any quarterback last year. But he's Cam Ward. He's the quarterback. He's the first pick. And he was a great college player, obviously.
Brandy says, is this list for players during their entire career or last year's play only? That changes my answer. To me, I'm looking at the totality of a player's career because, as I said, Steven Stamkos is a star in the NHL, but he's only played for the Predators for 2 years. So that may dock Steven Stamkos on this list.
Got to be factored in. But the whole thing, it's like the Heisman Trophy. best college football player.
Yes.
It can mean it can mean different things to different people. So your thing is just a general, the biggest sports stars in Nashville, right?
Yes. And if as you or Willie, Derek, Connor, you out there are constructing your own lists, you can determine which factors you weigh most heavily. So Brandy, for example, if you are looking at last year's play, you may bump up somebody and bump down somebody. To me, the way I interpret it is, it's kind of complicated. And that's why we're trying to figure it out. I'm still kind of working through it myself. But let me read the list of 10 names again, okay? And y'all tell me, because this is what this segment is going to be. We are going to try to figure out this list. Let's all go through and say aye if we agree.
I have 11 that I feel very strongly should be nominated.
Okay.
And there could be room. There's room for a couple more that maybe I haven't thought of. And that's where I think we're going to throw the listeners in here. Because, for example, Middle Tennessee, Tennessee State, Austin Peay, Belmont, Lipscomb. We need to consider those. And some of the fans and alumni of those schools might bring a nominee up there that we have not thought of.
Yeah.
Right. And we got to consider that.
Okay. So let's Connor, you're in on this too. Let's all go around and let's start confirming guys. I think we're going to reach a consensus fairly easily. Jeffrey Simmons. Yes.
Aye.
Cam Ward should be on the list.
Yep. Keep going.
Yes.
Roman Yossi.
Yep.
Philip Forsberg.
Yep.
Steven Stamkos.
Mm-hmm.
UC Soros.
Yep.
Michaela Blakes.
Yeah.
Tyler Tanner.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Surridge.
Yeah.
Hani Mukhtar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 10.
Yep.
You have 11.
I have 12, actually.
Okay.
Because he has.
You have Ryan O'Reilly.
And
Skoronsky.
Skoronsky.
I have
Peter
Peter
Skoronsky.
Skoronsky. Yeah.
I'm going to say no on Skoronsky. Connor, do you think Peter Skoronsky deserves a place on this list?
I have one wild card while you ponder that, just to bring to the table. I have Jared Curtis up for discussion because he played high school ball in Nashville. Number 1 recruit in the country.
That is a good point.
Hasn't played a game yet for Vanderbilt, but he is a star-ish. He's not a star in college, but he was certainly a high school star.
That, you know what? That is an interesting wrinkle I had not considered, because I thought about Jared Curtis as I was putting together this list. And I said, well, he hasn't played for Vanderbilt yet, much like we did not include Cam Ward last year because he hadn't played for the Titans. But
right.
I neglected his high school career,
which is very decorated.
Yes.
Multiple state championships.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can be convinced to put Jared Curtis on this list.
At least as a nominee.
As a nominee.
Okay.
I can be convinced.
Wow. Okay.
Because of the high school element.
And this is another one. Maybe Connor could help us with this too. But are there any other huge high school phenoms that we should be bringing to the table? Because I there are great players, great, high recruits in our listening area that we should probably consider, but I didn't have any that really popped into my head other than Jared Curtis.
Jared Curtis is one that comes to mind. Obviously, if you're staying in Middle Tennessee, you can't use David Gabriel George as out in Baylor. If they're going into college immediate, like this year, there's not many I can think of other than Curtis. But in terms of
I remember, for example, we brought up Mookie Betts years ago, and Derek, you can. You were probably, this was your section of your career when you were not playing in Nashville, but I was on the Nashville Sports Council committee to try to figure out male athlete of the year. Our nominees were Corn Elder, who ended up not having a great pro career. He went to Miami, but he's a great 2-sport athlete at Ensworth. Probably the best combination of high school football, high school basketball. I think he won the state in both. Mookie Betts and Jalen Ramsey. Like, how do you try to figure out who's the best among those three? Like, Mookie Betts was multi-sport, throw the bowling in there, all of that.
All of them were multi-sport guys.
Oh, yes.
Goodness.
Unbelievable. So, those types of talents, I think if the current people, I don't know if there's 3 like that in our area this year, but there's some pretty good ones that I'm probably not thinking of.
I would like to nominate one.
Okay.
For MTSU. Starting quarterback, Roman Gagliano.
Okay.
Okay, give me, what's the thumbnail accolades.
He is not from the state of Tennessee, so that might knock him down a little bit.
But that's okay. He plays for a college program in Middle Tennessee. It literally says Middle Tennessee in the name of the school.
He led a 3-win MTSU team last year to 2 wins, and he started the season, I believe.
So you think he's an up-and-comer?
I believe he's an up-and-comer.
Okay.
I don't want to, just put him as a solidified superstar, so maybe that will prevent him from being on this list. But I figured in terms of nominees, if we're going across Middle Tennessee State University, especially as an alumni of said university, should get some recognition.
Okay.
615-737-1025. All right. Our goal, well, my goal, and I'm going to foist it on the rest of them, is to come back from break with the list. So here's what I need you to do. We're trying to put this list together before we start. We're putting the nominees together before we start making the list. Here are the nominees we have right now. Jeffrey Simmons, Cam Ward, Roman Yossi, Philip Forsberg, Steven Stamkos, UC Saros, Ryan O'Reilly, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Sam Surridge, Hani Mukhtar, Jared Curtis, and Connor, remind me the quarterback's name from MTSU so I don't mispronounce it.
Roman Gagliano.
Okay. We want your suggestions. 615-737-1025. Hopefully, when we come back, we will have reached a consensus. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
So that's what, 14 people now?
DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. All right, here's what we're attempting to do. We're revisiting an exercise we did about a year ago. We are attempting to construct the definitive list of current Nashville sports stars. Here are the only ground rules. As I said, they have to be current Nashville sports stars. So we're not talking about all-time greats. We're talking
Ron
about
Mercer
right.
or R.A. Dickey, guys like that.
Steve McNair, Eddie George, Derek Mason.
Right.
We're not talking about, we're talking about active athletes in Nashville or Middle Tennessee, collegiate or pro. We are also excluding athletes who were born and or raised in Middle Tennessee who do not play in Middle Tennessee. So if you've got Mookie Betts on your list, for example, he is not included in this exercise.
Doesn't fit the criteria.
So there are so many factors you can weigh in this. Career achievement, not just in Nashville, but across the league. This past season, whether the player in question is in their prime, you can include that. Willie brought a good point up about Jared Curtis. He hasn't played for Vanderbilt yet, but he had a decorated high school career here in Middle Tennessee. So you can consider that.
He's got some name recognition.
Yes.
Don't you think, too?
He's been in the movie.
He has been in a movie.
He has been.
I think, as I was putting this list together, my theme that came to me was this isn't a super impressive list compared to maybe compared to, and this is no offense to the guys we're going to say or women, but I think if you did this list in an odd year, just pick one, 2000 or 2010 or 2015, the list might be a little thicker, deeper. True?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be honest. The Titans and Predators are not in a huge window of success right now.
When your team is successful, you tend to have
more, better players,
exactly,
and more recognition, more decorated players.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, and we want you to participate as well. 615-737-1025. Speaking of which, let's go to Nate in Columbia on our phone line, driven by Wilson County, Hyundai.com. Nate, thank you for calling and waiting. Go ahead.
What up, guys? So, I mean, I hear y'all and everything on Stamkos. When I think of a star in Nashville, I mean, do we have to take the Lightning fans that live here into account?
Why would we need to do that?
Because if we're just talking about Preds fans, I don't know that Steven Stamkos would be considered a Nashville Predator star to me. Yeah, he had a 40-goal season, but like you say, he's only been here for 2 years. To me, he doesn't get discussed as much as Yossi and Saros and them. By the way, y'all probably forgot one. I don't know if y'all talked about it during the break. What about the Vanderbilt basketball women's basketball player?
Michaela Blakes, we did mention her.
Absolutely on the
Nate.
list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nate,
Okay.
thank you, Nate.
It's the eye of the beholder kind of thing. He makes an interesting point. I don't think
You're right about that.
everybody will disagree with him, but
And you can
I have to
include
say
that.
I do disagree with that.
Okay, so
We put the whole package together.
here's what we're going to do. Because we want to simplify this. We don't want to take up the whole show and then bleed into the 6 o'clock.
Right.
hour.
I have seen people do this kind of thing on the sports talk show.
They
But
keep
if
coming back
we
to it.
each gave our top 10, we could be doing this till 5,
Yes.
debating each other. But we want everybody to
Yes.
weigh in.
So Willie had the idea, put together your personal top 5. Let's start by going around the room and hearing everybody's top 5. And Willie, since this was your suggestion, we'll allow you to go first.
I have Steven Stamkos number 1.
Wow.
Only because
Okay.
of his
Ooh.
overall package, his accolades. He scored his historic 600th goal last year. He's going to continue to pass more people on the list over time as long as he's a Predator. It seemed like every month there were 2 or 3 people's, of the all-time greats he was passing in one category or another, mostly having to do with goals or power play goals, etc. He's got rings, he's got all of that. So again, putting into perspective, this is not the golden list in Nashville sports history currently. I have him number 1. I have Jeffrey Simmons, number 2. I think he is, if he's not the best at his position, he's in the top 2 or 3. The team's not great, but he's been here a long time. I debated whether he was number 1. I really gave him strong consideration for number 1, but the Titans aren't doing so hot right now. Neither are the Predators. I put him number 2. I have Michaela Blake's number 3. If they had one more win or 2 in the tournament last year, I think I would have considered her number 1. She's had 2 phenomenal years. She was a strong number 3. I've had Tyler Tanner number 4, and I have Cam Ward number 5.
So Willy's top 5 of current Nashville sports stars: Steven Stamkos, Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blake's, Tyler Tanner, Cam Ward. Derek, your top 5, please.
Top 5. I'm gonna go from bottom to top.
Can you go top to bottom so that I can write it down?
It doesn't bring any intrigue.
Fine,
to
go
it.
from 5 to
Goodness
1.
Derek
gracious.
he wants the suspense.
Yeah,
Go from 5 to
intrigue, that's what
fine.
He's going Casey Kasem.
You want music
Thank
under
you,
that too?
Adam.
Counting down the hits to number 1.
Go.
Hush, Connor.
Go ahead, Seacrest.
Okay, at 5, Hani Mukhtar.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
I got him at 5. He had
MLS MVP.
MLS MVP, 29 goals last year, 5 straight 10 assist seasons. Only the 4th player in MLS history to do that. So I had Mukhtar at 5, Roman Josi at 4. I mean, if you've watched the Predators, I mean, he is the Predator. Okay, he is the Predators. He is their leader. And when he's not playing, the team typically don't do as good. But when he's on ice, he's that dude. 3, Jeffrey Simmons. He was the most recognizable face in that locker room. He was the MVP of that team. That's why I chose to pick him. And I just felt other than Myles Garrett, he was the most dominating defensive force in the National Football League. 2, Tyler Tanner. This guy went from scoring 4 points last year to over 19 points this year. He was one of the top scorers nationally. I mean, this kid did everything. He was tough. He was dependable. He did everything he possibly could to make sure this team was in a position to win each and every night. So I had him at 2, and obviously, Michaela Blake's. What can you say about
Michaela
her?
Blake's,
I mean,
number
she's
1.
racked up every award imaginable, and she's only in her 2nd year, and she is the face of Vanderbilt's women's basketball.
All right, so Derek's list from 1 to 5: Michaela Blake's, Tyler Tanner, Jeffrey Simmons, Roman Josi, Hani Mukhtar.
Yes.
What are you laughing about, Willy?
They're showing, this is on a different subject.
Okay.
Let's not get sidetracked.
Okay, all right. All right.
something
Should
that's on
I?
the TV
I'm going to
right
do
now.
my list from 1 to 5.
Okay.
Number 1, and it was a no-brainer for me, it's Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons was as dominant as a force defensively as there possibly can be in the NFL this past season. He just signed a market resetting contract, although he was number 83 on the top 100 list of the NFL players, whatever that stupid thing is. But to me, he is a career member of the Tennessee Titans, had an incredible season this past season. Again, signed a market resetting contract. For me, it was a no-brainer. Jeffrey Simmons was number 1. Number 2, Michaela Blake's. Derek, you just said it. I'll reiterate it. She has set so many records. She has won so many awards. The WNBA draft guidelines are far more restrictive than the NBA draft guidelines, so she is ineligible for the WNBA draft. But if she were eligible for the WNBA draft, you could absolutely make the case that she would be the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. She is an incredible player to watch. People have compared her to Caitlin Clark. I don't know if Michaela Blake's will have the cultural impact of Caitlin Clark, but as a player, she has broken some of Caitlin Clark's personal bests. So to me, I've got Michaela Blake's at number 2. Number 3, Philip Forsberg. I have Philip Forsberg at number 3, coming off of another 40-goal season. I weigh the fact that, like Simmons, Forsberg has been a member of the Predators throughout his entire career. I've been to enough Predators games. You see number 9 jerseys everywhere. He's all over the record books, coming off of another great season. I have Forsberg at number 3. At number 4, I have Tyler Tanner. He is going to be a preseason first team All-American. I mean, he was such a pleasure to watch. If only that shot had gone in against Nebraska at the end of the game, maybe he would have been higher on this list. But Tyler Tanner, I think, is going to be a star this year in college basketball. I think he is going to be a lottery pick in next year's NBA draft. And he did play high school ball here in Middle Tennessee. So I include that as well. So I have Tyler Tanner at number 4. And at number 5, I have Steven Stamkos. Coming off of a 40-goal season, Willy laid it out. One of the best goal scorers of his generation. He will be a first ballot member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. I know that most of his career accomplishments have happened outside of Nashville, but I think we saw this past season the Steven Stamkos of old. Again, reaching 40 goals and doing it after a really bad start to the season. It was incredibly impressive how Steven Stamkos overcame a slow start. He had 4 goals at around Thanksgiving and ended up with 40 plus. So I have Stamkos at 5. So go ahead.
No. You know why I didn't pick Stamkos? And it was because what the caller said, he hasn't spent enough time here. He's a great player. Like everything that you said is on point, but he's only been here 2 years going on 3, 2 seasons going on 3.
And that's a fair reason if you decide to keep him off your top 5. I think that's a fair reason. I do think that overall career achievement does mean something. Connor, quickly. I was looking at Tyler Tanner.
Close.
I was looking at Tyler Tanner while trying to get Connor. Connor, quickly, your top 5.
Okay, number 1, also a no-brainer for me. I have Jeffrey Simmons. I think he embodies what the Tennessee Titans are trying to do. I think he is, like Derek said, probably the best player at his position in the entire National Football League. So Simmons is 1. At number 2, I have Roman Josi, who, when I think of Nashville Predators hockey, Roman Josi's face is immediately what comes to mind. A Norris Trophy winner. He has been with the Predators to a Stanley Cup. He's been with the Predators for the bad times. Roman Josi's number 2. Miss Michaela Blakes comes in at number 3. I think we can all agree that anything and everything you can say about her has already been said. She is truly, in my opinion, the best women's basketball player in the entire country. At number 4, I have Philip Forsberg. I kind of factored in what these players mean to the city of Nashville. And to me, Philip Forsberg, who has always been my favorite Predator and a lot of people's favorite Predator, comes to mind. He's a fan favorite, a multi-time 40-goal scorer, also went to a Stanley Cup with the Predators. Philip Forsberg made my list at 4. And at number 5, I have Hani Mukhtar, who, because he was the first MVP in the city since Steve McNair, he made my list. I think we have to have some soccer representation because that's a popular fan base that goes unnoticed sometimes. So Hani Mukhtar made my list at number 5.
Did we all have the same top 5?
Nope.
We're that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do on the other side. 615-737-1025. We're going to start now debating because we do have a lot of similarities, but we also have some differences. So we are going to start arguing about it coming up next. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
So the only guys.
I'm surprised you had Stamkos 1.
Okay, so
I kind of did it to try to spur on.
Okay.
So let's look.
And I didn't want to look like a Predator.
Yeah.
Okay, first things first.
But I have nobody that's been mentioned below number 8. Forsberg, Josi, and Mukhtar. So the question is, you guys didn't have Ward in your top 5. Where do you guys have Ward?
Honestly, I had Ward at 9.
The spotlight of him to me is when I think of star, I think of not just the accolades, but just the recognition. That's my argument.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Let me.
Okay. Go ahead.
First thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to list all of the people we all have. So we all have Jeffrey Simmons. We're all in agreement on Jeffrey Simmons.
We have Simmons, Blakes, and Tanner. All of us have him.
Connor did not have Tyler Tanner.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
No, he had Simmons, Josi, Blakes, Forsberg, Mukhtar.
Okay.
So we have Simmons and Blake.
Yeah.
So consensus. So our consensus, we have Simmons and Blake. 3 of us have Tyler Tanner. 3 of 4, Tanner.
How many have Stamkos? At least 3. You
I don't have Stamkos.
No, Stamkos is only 2 of 4. Only you and me have Stamkos.
Okay. How about Josi?
2 of 4 on Josi.
Forsberg.
Forsberg. Me and Connor.
Hani Mukhtar.
You and Connor.
Okay. So we all got. It's like after those.
Ward only one of 4.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy that's Ward.
The only 2 consensus are Michaela Blake
The
and
only
Jeffrey
two-
Simmons.
the only
Jeffrey
two-
Simmons.
Unanimous.
Unanimous, yeah.
Now I have Forsberg, Yossi, and Mukhtar the next 3 on my list.
After the 5?
After the 5.
Okay.
So I'm not. It's not like I'm leaving them.
They're still in the top 10. Cam is 9 for me.
9.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you had Mukhtar higher than.
Yeah.
than
I
had
base it
Mukhtar
on.
8.
I know I'm not giving him points for popularity because football reigns supreme around here.
Mm-hmm.
He
So the
could
only-
he
so-
could have been bad and still been popular.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025. The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. Our friend Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports will join us in roughly 20 minutes. But we are in the process of compiling the definitive list of current Nashville sports stars. So in case you missed our explanation at the top of the show, here's what we're trying to do. As I just said, we are constructing what we hope turns out to be the definitive list of current Nashville sports stars. 2 ground rules. They have to be active. So we're not talking about legends. We're not talking about all-time greats. We're talking about active athletes playing in Middle Tennessee. That's ground rule number 1. Ground rule number 2. We are not including athletes who were born and or raised in Nashville who are playing somewhere else. So we're not talking about Mookie Betts or Joseph Newgarden. We're talking about athletes who
Sonny Gray.
We're talking about athletes who are playing for one of the major collegiate or professional teams within Middle Tennessee. So here's what we've done. We've gone through our top 5. I will read them all. And we are going to try to come to a consensus on a top 5 before we start ranking within that top 5.
And we have had 8 total people that have been mentioned in the 4 of our top 5.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
there's 8 that have made the list.
Yes. So here are the lists. Willie's from 1 to 5. Steven Stamkos, Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Cam Ward. Derek, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Jeffrey Simmons, Roman Yossi, Hani Mukhtar. Me, Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Philip Forsberg, Tyler Tanner, Steven Stamkos. Connor, Jeffrey Simmons, Roman Yossi, Michaela Blakes, Philip Forsberg, and Hani Mukhtar. So we have come to a consensus on 2. We all have Jeffrey Simmons.
Mhm.
We all have Michaela Blix.
Yes.
So Simmons and Blakes move on.
They're easily in the top 5.
They move on to the final round. So now it's our turn to try to convince the others that of this top 5. So, for example, 3 of us have Tyler Tanner. 1 of us doesn't. That one person is Connor Newt. So it's our job in here to convince Newt in there that Tyler Tanner deserves to be in the top 5.
Bring it on.
Okay. Willie, why don't you start?
Well, okay, so tell me where you because I'm going to be on the hot seat here in a minute because I'm the only guy that has Cam Ward in the top 5. You guys do not. But so when you weighed Tyler Tanner, why did he fall below the top 5 in your mind?
Full disclosure, he is number 6.
Okay.
In my mind.
And I have the other 3 guys that are not that I didn't have in my top 5, Forsberg, Yossi, and Mukhtar, the next 3 on my list. So I think we're pretty in agreement of the 8, unless you guys have wild cards in there below the line, but below the line of 5 anyway.
So, Connor, why did you choose to put Mukhtar at 5 and not Tanner?
Honestly, I wanted to find someone who I felt embodied a newer franchise here.
Mhm.
And I feel like soccer coming to Nashville has been a growing product. But if you go to a game, it's a massive house. It's a packed house. It's a lot of supporters. So I thought that the accolades that he presented, a Golden Boot winner, whatever that means, an MVP, I thought that the accolades of that were enough to push him into my top 5 because of the way he's kind of boosted a not as celebrated sport in this city and made it kind of mainstream.
Here would be my argument against Hani Mukhtar and for Tyler Tanner. And it goes back to the conversation we had yesterday discussing the U.S. men's national team's loss in the round of 16 of the World Cup and why I believe that soccer will never burst through the mainstream or burst into the mainstream in the United States. Hani Mukhtar has had a celebrated MLS career, MVP, among other accolades. MLS still is the 6th or 7th best soccer league in the world. I take that into consideration. Tyler Tanner plays Division I college basketball in arguably the best conference in college basketball.
A Duke fan would say that the SEC
wow.
might be
I said
arguably.
I said arguably.
Wow.
I said
If
arguably.
that doesn't sway you, Connor, I don't know what would.
I mean, he's put aside his bias.
Yes, I have. There is no doubt, in my mind at least, that Tyler Tanner will be a preseason All-American. As I said, I am convinced that he is going to be a star this year in college basketball. He is going, again, if he continues on this path, he is going to be a lottery pick in the NBA, and he is also from here and played high school basketball here, which I think adds to the
resume.
Yes,
to the
right.
resume. So that is why I would say Tanner over Mukhtar.
I think that's fair. Look, Tanner's at number 6 for me. I'm a huge Tyler Tanner fan. You know me. I'm a huge college basketball fan. So I am not going to be upset if he is in over Mukhtar.
So let me ask you this. Are you willing to concede Tyler Tanner? You're the only one holding up Tyler Tanner from being a consensus on this list.
This is like you guys peer pressured me into drinking at the ripe age of 14.
That did not happen.
It did not happen.
I didn't know you when you were 14.
No, I am willing to concede.
Okay.
Oh.
So Tyler Tanner, you're up. Tyler Tanner into the top 5.
Okay. Let me make the case for Ward, and you guys tell me, you guys can overrule me and move him off of the top 5.
You are the only person who had Cam Ward in the top 5.
I did. And the biggest
Which
reason I
might
had
come
him
as
in
a
the top
shock to a
5
lot of people.
Yeah. The reason I had him in the top 5 is because simply it's the toughest position in the world to play. And it's the most recognizable position in the world to play, or not the world, in our country, in our city, for sure, right? It's the quarterback of the Titans in the spotlight. He's not just that. He's the first pick in the draft. So the microscope he's under, the recognition he has every day, basically, especially during the season and almost every day in the offseason, his name's getting mentioned. So when I think of a star, I didn't just go by what he did on the field. If it was just about that, I wouldn't have had him in the top 5. But I am putting in degree of difficulty and the importance and the magnitude of the position he plays on the team that he plays for. That's what put him in the top 5 for me.
But couldn't you hold that against them from this standpoint? Because one of the reasons that I didn't put him in my top 5 was because they're the big elephant in the room. Who doesn't notice, Cam Ward as the starting quarterback for your NFL team, the Tennessee Titans? I mean, that alone, when you are a starter in the NFL at that position, you are known. So you're going to automatically, I think, get that bump. And so that's why I took it as I'm going to make this thing on an even playing field here. I'm going to take away the NFL bump, so to speak, because even though I put Jeffrey Simmons up high, it wasn't because of the NFL bump. To me right now, he is the face of the Tennessee Titans. And I think Cam ultimately will be, but I don't think he's there yet. So I gave that more of a minus than I did a plus.
Yeah, look, when you're the starting quarterback for the local professional football team, you were the number 1 overall pick in your draft. I mean, that means something. Cam Ward certainly has name recognition. Willie, you said if you go down to Broadway and do man on the street interviews, people are going to know who Cam Ward is. But he was not good this season. And
not at all.
So I until I see, I know people are gonna be like, well, he was good in the second half, which he was. He did improve incrementally over the course of the season.
But I let me stop you for a second, because I think we all agree that his numbers weren't good. I'm not putting him at number 5 because I thought he was good. It's the recognition that I thought just sort of leapfrogged him to a category he would not have otherwise, but he wouldn't be on the top 10 if it were just about the stats, right? It's just the position he's playing. When I think of Nashville sports stars, he's a star because he's the quarterback who was the first pick in the draft. That's my argument anyway. You guys could say it's crazy and you can veto it.
It's tough for
knock
me.
him down.
It's tough for me,
but
just
like
because
Mukhtar is a star in the world of the Nashville SC. And you've defined the world. It's not the greatest league in the world, but Nashville SC has a great following, and he has given them a guy that a casual fan like me, when I go to see Nashville SC, I'm like, okay, there's Mukhtar. I know who Mukhtar is. He's great at that level. But that you have to put it up next to the big giant in the room, which is NFL football, right? There's no comparison.
But how many eyes has he drawn to his
huge?
Sport?
I have Mukhtar number 8. He's clearly in the top 10. I had him in the top 10 last year. But as you guys mentioned, he's not maybe in his prime like he was a year or two ago. He's not in the World Cup. So I weighed all of that.
I think the most controversial choice is Willie having Steven Stamkos number 1. There are a lot of people. One person says Stamkos on any list is an automatic disqualifier. The fact that you had to expand the meaning of the list to include what they have done in other places underscores that. I don't think you can disregard what Steven Stamkos has done throughout his NHL career when having this discussion. Yes, the Predators have not been a great team since Steven Stamkos joined the team. That's not Steven Stamkos' fault, but he is coming off of a 42 goal season, yet another 40 goal season in his outstanding career. It would be like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like if the Titans traded for Patrick Mahomes would immediately shoot up that list because he's Patrick Mahomes. So although Patrick Mahomes won all of those Super Bowls in Kansas City, he doesn't start from 0 because he was traded to Tennessee. I don't think Steven Stamkos starts from 0 because he was traded to Nashville. So I understand Willie's point, but I think that's the most based on what we're seeing on the text line, that was the most controversial inclusion on the list.
Well, so Stamkos is, like you said, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest players of his era. and he has played 2 years for the Predators. He's coming off a great year. So that's why I put him number one. Yossi and Forsberg, it was really hard for me to separate those guys. I have Forsberg and Yossi 6 and 7. And I'll be honest, like if I put 3 Predators on the top 5 after the years they've had the last 2, I just couldn't do that. Like I think Yossi's stock is down just a little bit relative to where he's been. Like in past years, if we did it last year, the year before, he might be easily top 2, top 3. Forsberg's been pretty consistent, to his credit. So he's got to be on the list for sure. But I think just the year that Stamkos had, the records he's breaking, so I had him up there for that reason.
But when you think about
none of these other guys, I think Yossi is going to be in the Hall of Fame, but I'm thinking of these other guys, and I don't know if we could say that.
well, if that's the case, we could have added John Franklin Myers or some other guy.
John Franklin Myers,
I'm just
how would
saying-
he be in there?
I'm just saying, guys.
What Hall of Fame is high school Hall
I'm
of Fame?
just saying, guys that were productive and good at another team and coming here.
Right.
I understand that Stamkos is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm not going to argue that. I understand what he was when he came here. I understand the second half of the season that he had. But as a Predator, I think when you think of the team, you don't think of Stamkos. I think you think of Roman Josi, UC, Philip Forsberg, guys like that. You don't
from
think
the
of
name
Stam-
recognition,
Which is why-
historical, yes, but
Which is why I had Philip Forsberg ahead of Steven Stamkos.
right. He's the all-time leading Predators goal scorer. So it's a really tough debate. But Stamkos, think about if he's what, in number 19, I believe, in all time NHL, not of his era, but he's number 19 in the history of the NHL in the most prestigious or the recognizable thing, goal scoring. He's number 19. There's no equivalent on this list. Jeffrey Simmons is not in the top 20 of anything in NFL stats.
If Steven Stamkos has another 40-goal season for the Predators this season, he'll be 14th at the end of next season.
So yeah, so that
all-time goals.
That was the thing that was the deciding factor for me at number 1 above the other guys. But look, that's why we do this. This is a fun debate. I want to know what people think. So a lot of people in the text line are weighing in. 615-737-1025.
Let's go to Brett on our phone line, who has been waiting patiently. Brett, thank you for calling and waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to discuss this as far as Stamkos goes. I think he's like one of the greatest players ever, and I agree with Willie that he should be at the top of the list. My question was to Derek. He said, he's only been here 2 years, and but so has Michaela and Tyler both. They've only been here 2 years. So
Thank you, Brett.
That is a fair point.
It is, but Tyler
did
was,
his high school here.
He was
Yeah.
high school here, and you're right. But even with that, I think Michaela Blake's in 2 years, her award rack up or
Unbelievably good.
or what he has done for her team has been greater than what Steven Stamkos has done.
Blake's the number of 50-point games, 30-point games.
I think
it
her
is
impact has been
unbelievable.
Her impact has been a much greater deal for Vanderbilt than what the impact has been with Stamkos to the Nashville Predators.
I think if it was by that, she has a strong case for number 1.
Yeah.
She does. But you do have to consider the stage, and I think women's college basketball is probably at the highest stage it's ever been. Would we agree?
Mhm.
Yes.
And Vanderbilt was off of the radar until she got there.
Yes.
Largely, it was building, but boy, she's the piece that has vaulted it to the next level. But still, NFL football, it was tough. I have her number 3. It was a tough call.
Let's do this quickly before we go to break. And Easton Freeze has been kind enough to move it a little bit later so we can keep this conversation
Maybe he
going.
can have his top 5.
Yes, that's a good point. There obviously has to be a Predators representative in the top 5. I'm going to just quickly go around the room.
Mhm.
You tell me who should be the Predators representative in the top 5.
Are we limiting to 1?
I
Saying
think
if you had to put 1.
if you had to put
Okay.
one,
Mhm.
Willie,
Well, obviously, I put Stamkos in there.
Derek,
Yossi.
Forsberg.
Yossi.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
we're divided.
We'll continue this. 615-737-1025. We want to hear from you. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. If you're just joining us, honestly, this may take the entire show. We'll take a break in about 15 minutes with our friend Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports. Talk some Titans. But here's what we're doing in case you just got in the car. We are attempting to put together the definitive list of the top current Nashville sports stars. And we've had a healthy debate. Again, if you're just joining us, here are the only two ground rules. One, active players. Someone texted in and said, what about Pecorine? Pecorine? We all love Pecorine. Pecorine, not included. He's retired and now a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Active players playing in Middle Tennessee. So if you're born and raised in Middle Tennessee and you're off playing baseball or racing elsewhere, you don't count. You have to be playing for a collegiate or professional program in Middle Tennessee. So what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to come to a consensus. We each unveiled our top 5. 3 athletes have moved on to the final list. Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, and Tyler Tanner. We are still trying to figure out the other 2 spots. And before the break, we were debating at least one of the Predators representatives. There could end up being 2 Predators representatives. But here's one thing we did do during the break. Much to Willy's chagrin, we have eliminated Cam Ward from the discussion. Cam Ward will not be in the top 5. And I understand Willy's point. It's a valid point. Cam Ward is the starting quarterback for the local professional football team. He was the number 1 overall pick in his draft. I think a week from yesterday, he will be part of the next season of the quarterback series on Netflix. And we'll talk a lot about that, I'm sure, starting next week. Cam Ward, he's out there. He also kind of stunk this past season. And in this discussion, I hold that against Cam Ward.
Yeah, I just thought the first half of the season wasn't good. And I'm not gonna put all that on him because obviously it's a team sport. And the guys around him were not particularly doing well either. But I just thought that, he has a lot of developing to do, which means, he has time to, because we're going to continue to do this. So he has time to move up on the chart. So right now, I couldn't have him in my top 5. He made the top 10, but he didn't do enough, even though he led that team in the second half and he played much better. I just think that there were other people respective to our list that displayed, more than what Cam did.
You could make the argument that Cam Ward was statistically the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. And yes, I agree with all of you out there who saw Cam Ward make improvement over the second half of the season. But when you look at the season as a whole, it was rough. So here, we need your help on this next one because I think this is going to be a difficult one. We do need to figure out at least one Predators representative. Willy has Steven Stamkos. I have Philip Forsberg. Derek and Connor have Roman Josi. We need your help to figure out who moves on. 615-737-1025. Here's my argument for Philip Forsberg as we are awaiting your votes. Philip Forsberg, easily recognizable to Predators fans. The all-time leading goal scorer in franchise history by a wide margin. This franchise has had 5 40-goal seasons. Philip Forsberg has 3 of them. And Philip Forsberg is not as decorated as Steven Stamkos. He doesn't have any Stanley Cup championships, hasn't won any major awards. But Philip Forsberg is synonymous with the Nashville Predators, as is Roman Josi. But here is why I pick Forsberg over Josi. Forsberg is coming off of yet another 40-goal season. Roman Josi had a down season by his standards, and I take that into consideration. So I think Roman Josi is a worthy challenger, but I would give the edge to Forsberg because of what I just saw from Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi this past season.
Do we have any strong leanings amongst our listeners? 615-737-1020. Is anybody backing me on Ward, or do they basically agree with you guys?
Gator Tim says Cam Ward should be nowhere near this list. He has had zero impact on this team. He is the 40th best player on the Titans. That might be a little harsh.
A little strong.
Might be a little harsh.
So
Brandy says Ward hasn't done anything. His title alone doesn't earn him a spot on this list.
okay.
The Predators, I don't know who they is. They say Maverick Bork is going to be a superstar. Should he be on the list? No, Maverick Bork should not be on the list.
And I did weigh that Cam Ward was a heck of a college football player, right? As well, just like we weighed Steven Stamkos' past before he got to Nashville. It's not only what you do in Nashville, but I get it. Look, I've been outvoted. I can understand it. I will concede. That Cam Ward will not make today's
too.
One texter says Roman Yossi all day. Kevin says it's got to be the captain, meaning Roman Yossi. Caleb says Stamkos is by far the biggest superstar athlete in Nashville. LOL. Not sure how that's even debatable. So Caleb agrees with you, Willie. One texter just says mustache, which means Forsberg. Tommy says has to be Yossi. He has always been the best or top 3 defenseman every year in hockey. Eli says Peter Skoronsky over Cam Ward. Kevin says no way on Ward. He has yet to prove anything. So yes, you have officially been ruled out, not just by us, but by the listeners. Cam Ward not on the list. One texter says agree with Willie, Steve, and Stamkos. It's pretty even.
Stamkos.
So there's room for 2 Predators.
There
in the top 5.
There are.
It depends. So is the second Predator above Mukhtar? I think that's the next piece of the debate.
I'm sorry to say this, Nashville SC supporters. I am excluding Hani Mukhtar for the reasons I stated earlier and yesterday. For as impressive as Hani Mukhtar has been, and I know how passionate you Nashville SC supporters are, I can't get over the fact that the MLS is nowhere near the most competitive soccer league in the world. To me, that means something in this conversation. So Hani Mukhtar, I don't know where I would have him on my top 10. He is not in my top 5. So I am out on Hani Mukhtar or Sam Surridge in this conversation.
Could I give you my argument against Steven Stamkos?
Yes.
Steven Stamkos, to me, I equate him to Michael Jordan in the aspect that both have played for 2 teams and one near the end of his career. While Jordan didn't have the same impact for the Wizards that he had for the Bulls, like Stamkos has the impact for the Predators that he had for the Lightning. When I say Steven Stamkos, you think of the Tampa Bay Lightning. When I say Michael Jordan, you think of the Chicago Bulls. I feel that although an impressive career and by far the best superstar in terms of lineage across his entire career in this city, I think you have to factor in what they do for this city. That's just me. That's just how I feel. But that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay.
Like I think about that. If I were in Washington, D.C., when he mysteriously came back and played for the Wizards, that did happen.
Yeah, it did.
Did nobody remember that?
Like I remember asking, like when Jerry Stackhouse was hired by Vanderbilt, that was something he got asked about because he played on those teams with Jordan.
Indeed, he did.
And he was like, I was better than Jordan at that point.
At that
He
point.
was. But it wasn't a great team. But if you did this poll in Washington, like, could you really do that poll and not have Jordan
I think
in the poll?
If
You
you were
have
making,
to.
he wouldn't be number 1 though.
I don't know. I don't know
if
who
you're
he's going
basing it-
against.
Yeah,
I don't know
if
who he's
you're
going against.
basing
But
it on
Ovi would be 1 in Washington for sure.
who is that?
Alex Ovechkin.
well, I mean, we're talking about different years. Like the years that Jordan played for Washington, I think would have predated Ovi.
Yeah.
I think. But at the time, I can't remember who in the moment those stars were. What, late 90s or early 2000s? Just before Ovi came into the league. Early 2000s, I think, is when Jordan played the 1 or 2 years
Washington.
in D.C.
Who was on the?
So I don't know
football
who
team
else the
back
guys.
then?
I think it was even before the Nationals got to.
Yes, the
They
Nationals.
weren't winning Super Bowls.
Were not there in
Did they
2000.
win a Super Bowl?
Not-
That was
in-
post Redskins heyday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's still an NFL team there with a big.
exactly.
Following.
I was trying to figure out who was the quarterback back then.
Oh man, it's hard to put all those.
Yeah,
Jeff George.
don't
it could have
think
been
so.
a possibility.
Maybe pre Kirk Cousins.
Gus Farrat.
But
It might have been.
Trent Green.
Could have been in there.
Wasn't Trent Green
one
a
of those-
Redskins
yeah,
quarterback?
I think
it was
he
Trent
was.
Green,
Yeah,
actually.
I
it
think
may
might
have been Trent Green.
I feel like it was pre.
But
But we'll
but
see.
I look at it when you
But you
when
see
talk
what
about
I'm saying though. When you go through these, Michael Jordan's name carries
because
a lot
of the
of weight.
recognition and what
That's
he
what
did.
that's where I
with the
went with
Chicago
Stamkos.
Bulls. But
and
you're
it was
talking about the
tough.
greatest player of all time. You're talking about the
Right.
greatest player in the
And
game.
Stamkos
Yeah.
isn't that, but
Exactly.
he's he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's a Hall of
Yeah.
Famer.
But you could argue so is Yossi.
Yeah.
Someday, but maybe not easily in like Stamkos would be like they won't even need to debate it. Like it'll be it.
But Yossi is still the engine of this team. He is.
Yes,
Everybody
he
knows
is.
it. He had dominance in the world games. He's still playing at a high level when he's not injured. He played his 1,000th game this season.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
1,000 with the same team.
Yeah.
Game
with the
number
same team.
1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game number
The
1,000.
first Predator to do
one
that.
team.
By the way.
Exactly.
The first player
So
to play all 1,000
you-
games with Nashville.
when you think, just like when you think of the Titans, you think of Stephen Airy, George. When you
Mhm.
think of the Predators, you think of Roman. He's in
Fair
that
point.
group of guys.
Good argument. Good argument.
Sonny says Forsberg has been here for pretty much his entire career, as has Roman Yossi.
Mhm.
Pred's leading goal scorer. Yossi, while still good, is past his prime. And I think Forsberg is the best current Pred and probably would be the highest rated player in an NHL video game, which we all know is super important.
It's actually Yossi, believe it or not.
Huh?
It's actually Yossi
Oh,
No.
wow.
in this recent one.
Ooh, interesting.
They probably took into account his injury and just based it upon, his diagnosis and based it upon the games he did play.
Let's go to Brandy on our phone line, driven by Wilson County, Hyundai.com. Brandy, thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Hello, gentlemen. So I just texted my best friend who doesn't really follow hockey like I do. And I said, name me 3 Nashville Predator players. She said Forsberg, Yossi, and Evangelista. Evangelista for other reasons. We don't count that one. But he says nothing about Stamkos. I think it was Connor who said that a second ago. I completely agree with him. People, when they think Stamkos, think the Lightning. So I don't think he should be in the top 5. I think it's Forsberg and then Yossi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good argument.
Thank you, Brandy. One
Very-
texter
and
says,
thank you for the effort of
Yes.
calling and polling a
Tell your
bystander.
friends.
Yeah, because that's what we were talking about. Like the word on the street does mean something. Recognition.
one texter says, put some respect on Xavier Restrepo's name.
Where does Tyson?
And Frank, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, I think the answer for the Predators is easily Yossi, in my opinion. And maybe this is a hot take, but I don't think, in my opinion, you can say that, like, Forsberg at any point in his career has been a superstar. Elite, sure, but maybe not a superstar. Yossi has had years where he's a true superstar, in my
Right.
opinion.
Norris
And I
Trophy
think
winner.
that's above.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah.
That is thank you, Frank. That is
Good
that
point.
is a good
Yeah.
point.
It's
I-
more about he's not coming off his best year.
Yes.
If he'd come off a regular Roman Yossi year, then I think it would be
But
a little more
I
clear.
will say this, and then we'll get to Easton Freeze as we put a pin in this for just a little bit. Although Forsberg was my choice, and Forsberg could end up in the top 5, I am willing to put Roman Yossi there. I am willing to change my vote to Roman Yossi. Frank makes a good point. Roman Yossi has been considered not too long ago the best defenseman in the NHL. He won the damn Norris Trophy, which means that season he was the best defenseman in the NHL.
And he had another year where he had a really strong argument.
And if you're putting together a list of the top defensemen in the NHL, Roman Yossi has gone down on that list, but I would, he's still up there. If you told me Roman Yossi is still a top 10 NHL defenseman, I could hear that argument. Philip Forsberg, to Frank's point, very good player. Has never really come close to any individual award. I am willing to concede on Forsberg and put in Yossi.
Derek, you notice when Adam's talking, it's like he's the judge. He's going to make the final call. It's not like, hey, let's let everybody have a vote and see how the point system goes. He's like, I am willing to consider.
He's been watching. He's been watching Judge Judy in between World Cup games.
It's
Who do I look like? Chris Sanders?
So what he's basically saying, Willy,
Okay.
Stamkos, no.
we get input, but he makes the final
Yes.
call.
Well,
but I think we're making progress here. On
yes. That would be
so
3
we
for
now
Yossi.
can say Yossi.
Well, is Willy willing to put Yossi?
Oh, yes, I'm going with the people.
Okay.
I'll go with the people.
So
Roman
who would
I
you
made the
remove?
argument.
No, who would you remove
Well,
then,
okay.
Willy?
Well,
No,
it's
I'm
really
just saying from your list. If you're saying,
Well, he removed Ward, so he can
Okay, so you-
replace it.
okay.
He
right.
can-
I have gone with the people. I've been
Okay.
outvoted on Ward, so that's one slot, and then I believe it should be 2 of the 3 Predators because we've agreed on Simmons, Blakes, and Tanner.
yes.
Yes.
And
Right?
now Yossi.
So Yossi is now
Yes,
in
he's
for
the
sure.
fourth.
Yes.
Okay,
Yossi
Get us,
so
is
Garrett.
in.
The non-hockey guys get a win.
There you go. 'Cause
Okay,
Connor and Derek had Yossi.
Yes.
so
initially
Yossi's
on.
in,
Yes.
Ward out, and so now Yossi is for sure in the top 5,
Yes.
and then it's the last one, whether it's Stamkos, Forsberg, or I guess Mukhtar is the other guy that we haven't really officially eliminated. Have we eliminated Mukhtar from the top?
I
Or
don't
Mukhtar
think
from the
we
top 5?
have.
Joey says, Adam, you're my buddy, but you're hating on soccer. We'll consider Mukhtar. We'll continue this at the top of the hour, 615-737-1025. But coming up next, we're going to take a break and have our friend Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports join us to talk some Titans. That's coming up next. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Let's go to our phone line, driven by Wilson County, Hyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports. Now, Easton, I'm not going to ask you to do this now, but you do need to give us an answer by the end of the segment. What we are doing today is we are trying to compile the definitive list of Nashville's current top sports stars.
Oh,
And so we are only including active athletes playing for collegiate or professional teams within Middle Tennessee. So think about it, marinate on it while we're conducting this interview, and we want to hear what you have to say at the end.
hang on. Is this based on how good they are or how popular they are?
It's
a combination.
It's open to interpretation.
Open to interpretation.
You can consider career achievement. You can consider most recent play. You can consider whether the athlete is in their prime or near the end of their career. All of those things factor into it. It's open to interpretation. But let me ask you about something that Titans fans think shouldn't be open to interpretation, and that's Jeffrey Simmons. And I'm not going to ask you about the NFL Top 100, but I am going to ask you about ESPN's list of the NFL's top 10 defensive tackles. I think Jeremy Fowler does this exercise every year with every position. The defensive tackles list comes out tomorrow. Will it be a slap in Jeffrey Simmons' face if he is not number one on that list?
It can't be anything close to the slap that the top 100 list was. So, I mean, I think relative to that, even if he is number 2, that's fine. Now, if he comes in as like number 8, which this list comes from people whose job it is to know these things, not whose job it is to play the game, which the top 100 list is players ranking those guys. I trust that they're not going to do something that drastic. He will be number 1 or number 2. If you made me guess, he will be number 1, and the whole thing will be about how we've got a new top guy on this list, and here's why, and he's dominant and he's awesome, and nobody watched him last year, but he was very good, which is the gist of it. But if he's number 2, it will be because Chris Jones is number 1, which is fine. That's partially a lifetime achievement award kind of thing. At his best, Chris Jones still is fully capable of making plays that change the game in in one play. He can hinge the entire game. He can, and frankly, last year there were a couple of times at his best he was kind of calling game and just deciding the game was over and here I'm going to end it. And so that's something that I expect the executives to still really like. And he is further on in his career. He's had a better career than Jeffrey Simmons has so far, but Jeffrey is earlier on his timeline. So I think he'll be number 1. If he's not, he'll be number 2. And I think Chris Jones will be number 1.
Just for context, last year's list, number 1, Dexter Lawrence, number 2, Chris Jones, number 3, Jalen Carter, followed by Jeffrey Simmons at number 4. So we could see.
Is that the same Jalen Carter that started the season by spitting at the Cowboys guy?
The
Dak Prescott?
The very same. So
that moved him down the list.
We'll see where he ends up tomorrow, Derek.
Now, Easton, looking at this offense, meaning the Titans offense, obviously them going out and getting Carnell Tate, but that automatically, hopefully, bolsters their receiving core. But how much 2 tight end sets do you think Dabo choose to use during the season, or do you think he goes more 3 wide receiver sets?
So it's interesting. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I wrote an article about this last week, and I know that it was roughly double. So when you compare what last year's Callahan offense did in terms of 12 personnel to what Dable's offense did in New York last year with 12 personnel, now with granted with both of those guys, right, they themselves didn't coach those teams the whole season, but it was their offense that they installed. Dable's version of the offense ran 12 personnel roughly twice as much as the Callahan one did. And I think it's going to translate, and I think based on what we've seen, again, very, very early, but what we've seen so far this offseason and heard so far this offseason from the coaching staff and from Gunnar Helm and from Daniel Bellinger is representative of that fact, that those 2 are going to be active members of the receiving core. And I don't expect either of them to, be the surprise dominant 1,000-yard tight end for this team. And, actually they're the topic of discussion in terms of receiving and not these receivers they've brought in. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I do think that they are going to both have healthy workloads. I think they're both going to be on the field a lot. And the reason why this version of the Titans team is way more likely, just in general, no matter who's coaching them, because of the players they have on the roster, why they're way more likely to run a lot of 12 personnel as compared to last year's is that last year when you were in 12 personnel, unless you were just taking Chigakonkwo out of the equation and putting a lesser tight end out there on the field with rookie Gunnar Helm, 12 personnel was 1 tight end on the field who was a rookie, who was a dual threat to either pass or block, or to receive or block. And then the other one was the best receiving tight end on the field, but not a guy that you were threatened by as a blocker at all. With Helm in year 2, having, I think, changed his physique in the way that he needed to this offseason, and he showed a lot as a rookie, enough for me to say that he should be the tight end 1 with a bullet on this team. So you've got him taking a leap, and you've got Daniel Bellinger being brought in, who is no scrub as a receiver, not utilized a ton in that way in his career, but he's a much better blocker than Chigakonkwo was. Those two on the field presents a very different chess problem for the defense to have to answer for. That's why we're seeing the whole league push 12 and 13 heavy personnel, is because it puts the defense in conflict. Last year's version of the Titans 12 personnel didn't really put the defense in conflict the way that this year's will.
Do you think they believe that much in Gunnar Helm that he can be that A1? Because even with, you know, the ability of Bellinger to block, they're still going to need someone at that position that can stretch the field. You go out and get Colonel Tate, I get it, and Robinson in the middle, but you still need that big body tight end to stretch the field.
I do think they believe in him that way. He's a big guy with a big frame. Again, this may sound pedantic, but I really do think the way that he has hardened his physique, he's got much more of an, I mean, you know this, he's got much more of an NFL body than a college body now. And that matters especially for a position like tight end where you're just going to be put through the ringer all year long. He also, you know, before Carnell Tate was drafted, he, in my opinion, had the best hands on the entire team. And now maybe he has the second best hands on the entire team. The two of them are in a class of their own in terms of reliability. If you put it on their frame and they get a finger on the ball, they're likely to catch the ball. And that's something that for Cam Ward, who is not a quarterback who hangs his hat on elite accuracy, that matters a lot to me. So I do think that they'll use him a lot.
Talking to Easton Freeze, and Easton, let's sort of circle back to our big question of the day. And we've had a pretty big debate on Cam Ward, and you asked, I think, the important question when you're trying to do this particular. This is just a made for debate kind of thing. I'm not sure what the importance is right now. Last year, we didn't even make Cam Ward eligible for this when we did it because he hadn't played a game yet. He's played 1 year, and obviously the numbers aren't great. But you asked the question of, is it about what you've done or how popular you are? And to me, that's the argument for Ward. Would you consider Ward in the top 5 if you were doing this right off the top of your head, or do you think he's got to do more before he gets recognized like that?
No, I would, but that's because I'm an NFL supremacist, and I don't think anybody on the hockey team right now holds a candle. It's helping me that the hockey team right now is in such flux, and there's not like a true star, even for the ball knowers on the team, that's like obviously fantastic at hockey, at least that I'm aware of. Maybe this is me showing my hockey knowledge. They've got good players, but right now with the way that the team has been, not a lot of household names either. So by either metric, I don't think they necessarily apply. It's not like the football team has a ton of awesome dudes from last year either, but Cam Ward was the first overall pick. He is somebody in terms of a Q rating. I mean, this is just a Q ratings thing, then he's number 1 in the city, and I don't think it's that close. But if it's the best player in the city, it's Jeffrey Simmons, and I don't think it's that close.
Okay, so would there be any other Titans? Because as you said, they're not a star-studded lineup right now. They're still trying to find that foundation. Simmons and Ward are easily recognizable. I brought Peter Skoronski's name in as the next guy on the list, but I got voted down on that. He has not made our top 5.
Oh, wow.
He is edge of the top 10. But what other names from the Titans would you think even get on the radar here?
Yeah, I mean, your guard's never going to win the Q ratings battle at all. He doesn't
he's a guard.
On that top 10 probably. But in terms of being good at football, he is next for me behind Simmons. And again, that's not really a hard one for me to come down on. Carnell Tate is kind of a powder keg about to explode on this front. If he's as good as he looked in terms of actual on-field play, that's going to match with the fact that he's top 4 pick. He's the highest picked receiver here in ever. This just kind of dawned on me. Have we ever drafted a receiver higher than 4? I don't think so.
No.
And he's an OSU guy, so he comes in with a bunch of juice behind his name. If he is simply the guy that we think we see so far without pads on, and gets to right around 1,000 yards this year, then he absolutely can be in that conversation. Other than that, man, Yeah. I mean, like Kevin Winston Jr. could eventually become that safety, but that's all promise.
So you think Winston is the guy to watch?
Gray could eventually become that linebacker, but that's all promise.
Okay, so that I think was gonna be my final question. When we do this in a year, you've named Winston. Who else on the Titans would you like? Tate is a great one, right? That's an obvious one. You mentioned Gray. Anybody else you would think would have a chance to jump onto that list?
I think that John Franklin Myers has a chance just because of him and Jeffrey Simmons are kind of like tag teaming all year, going back and forth, throwing each other alley-oops and slamming it down. That just kind of the narrative of like, look at this awesome tag team doing atrocious things to offenses every week. That could be a big thing for his Q rating. And he is also very, very good at football. Aside from that, man, nobody that you can predict necessarily. Like, I guess Samuel Adejo could just come out of nowhere and be incredible all of a sudden. I'm thinking about these defensive linemen because they're all going to have a pretty good shot in Salah's defense. Alontae Taylor, from a Q rating standpoint, if he's a really good corner, you know, the whole hometown hero storyline, that's kind of a sleeper maybe. There's not a lot of obvious answers. And, you know, maybe that's part of the problem with this team. They need some more obvious answers.
Right. Let's hope it's more an optimistic outlook in 1 year.
Yes. All right, Easton.
Absolutely.
Before we let you go, I want to put you on the spot. I want your top 5 list of the current Nashville sports stars. You can go from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1 to build up the suspense. Your choice.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, my formula is going to be my own proprietary blend of Q rating and talent, which is my way of saying I'm just going to kind of go with whatever I think. I will say number 1 is Jeffrey Simmons. Number 2 is Cam Ward. Number 3, man, it's a big drop off. Number 3 is a reluctant Peter Skoronski. Number 3 is Carnell Tate. Number 4 is Peter Skoronski. Number 5 is I'm not sure it even matters. Morgan Cox.
Morgan Cox. Okay.
All right.
Shout out
Easton.
to the long snapper.
All right. Easton Freeze of A to Z Sports has been our guest. As always, Easton, it's been a pleasure. We'll do this soon.
Thanks, fellas. Talk to you next time.
That
the
is
football supremacist.
Yes.
A
Self-proclaimed.
self-labeled. Yeah.
All right. We are going to get back. We have 1 hour to figure this out, and that's what we're going to do. We have 4 of the 5 players on our top 5 list. There are 3 candidates for 1 spot, and we will debate that starting next. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. So we've got Forsberg, Stamkos, and Mukhtar. Those are the 3 for 1 spot.
Got it. Yeah, I think that's good.
Hey, this is Derek Mason, and you heard me tell you about Dr. Lodge and his staff over at Cool Springs MD for some time. If you set out to lose weight, chances are it's not your first time setting a goal to shed some extra pounds, only to face disappointment. But I got some good news, because at Cool Springs MD, Dr. Lodge and his team understands the frustration of this cycle, and that is why they offer a different approach to weight loss. Their comprehensive weight loss program is led by Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and addresses the root cause of weight gain with tailored nutrition, exercise, blood test supplements, and more. They will customize a program specific to you and you only. So connect with Dr. Lodge at CoolSpringsMD.com today to schedule your appointment for a personalized weight loss plan just for you. That's Cool Springs MD, where your weight loss journey becomes a success story.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025. The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. All right. We've been doing this all show, and we've got an hour to come to a consensus. So here is what we have been discussing throughout the program. We did this last year. We're doing it again now. We are trying to compile the definitive list of current Nashville sports stars. So if you're just joining us, here are the these are the only two rules in this debate. One, we are talking about active players. So retired players, legends, all-time greats, they are excluded. The other and most important rule is this. The athlete in question has to be playing for a professional or collegiate team within Middle Tennessee. So we are excluding people who were born and or raised in Middle Tennessee who are off playing somewhere else. We are not including athletes in Memphis. We are not including athletes in Knoxville. We are only including athletes within Middle Tennessee. So here's what we did earlier in the program. We each had our own top 5, and we're trying to come to a consensus of the 5 athletes we are going to include in the final ranking. And so far, with your help at 615-737-1025, we have come up with 4 of the 5 athletes. Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, and Roman Yossi. They have moved on to the next round. There are, based on all of the conversations we've had, all of your feedback, we have 3 athletes left for 1 spot. Philip Forsberg, Steven Stamkos, and Hani Mukhtar. So what we need to do now is we need to determine who gets that final and 5th spot. Who wants to begin?
Well, I mean, Willie, you had Stamkos.
I had Stamkos at number 1. So
yes.
I look, you know me, between Stamkos, Yossi, and Forsberg, who I put on the number 1 tier above Ryan O'Reilly and UC Saros, who I had lower as nominees for the top 10. But I think we've got it. We all agreed on the top 8. For those that didn't hear the first hour of the show, we all, when we came up with our top 5, the 4 of us, we had 8 names. So we have started by eliminating everybody else, right? We had some nominees that we put in there for people that weren't listening then. We nominated other guys like Peter Skoronsky. We just talked to Easton about him. Sam Surridge of Nashville SC, Ryan O'Reilly, UC Saros, Jared Curtis, who's an interesting case because he hasn't played college football yet, but his recognition as the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country, played his high school ball here in Nashville at Nashville Christian. Very decorated player. We put him up for consideration. And then Connor had Middle Tennessee's quarterback, Roman Gagliano. So we narrowed it down to the 8. So right now we have 3 nominees for the final spot.
And by the way,
I had Stamkos number 1, and so it was really hard for me to distinguish Stamkos, Yossi, and Forsberg in the current day.
One thing to note, because some of you who may just be tuning in, we have eliminated Cam Ward. You're wondering, hey, why isn't Cam Ward up for discussion? We have ruled against Willy.
For the top 5.
Willy, yes. Willy,
he's in the 8, but not in the top 5.
Willy was the only one who had Cam Ward in his top 5. And Connor, Derek, and I have overruled Willy Donick. By the way, someone texted in and said, I got out of the car. Has Willy found his hat? No, Willy has not.
Jeez. We need the surveillance. We need to verify Derek's theory, which I think is the best working theory right now, that I mistakenly put it on the top of the car, and maybe the surveillance footage would verify that, and it slipped off the top and ended up in a ditch somewhere or something.
Quickly, did you have on a jacket when you left or something?
I did, yes.
I've known you to take off your hat, then take off your jacket.
Yep. I did
so
that.
You may have that. So it may have been.
He was wearing his 1025 The Game pullover. His quarter
short.
Took it off. I took his hat off. That's in the car.
Yeah, but you took the hat off and you put it on top of the car.
Ooh, that I think.
There we go.
I think we've come to a conclusion.
That might be what the tape was showing.
The mystery gang over here.
Absolutely. Yep.
And we would have got away with it too.
if not for you meddling kids.
We figured it out.
So again, we have four athletes who have moved on to the final round. We've all agreed on these four: Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, and Roman Yossi. And as you as well at 615-737-1025, as we consider who deserves to be in the top 5, before we rank those 5, 1 through 5, there are many different factors you can weigh, and you can weigh some factors more heavily than others. For example, you may weigh career achievement versus whether the athlete is in their prime right now. So like Michaela Blakes has played for Vanderbilt for 2 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
But think about all of the records and accolades she's accumulated in those 2 years. So you weigh that more heavily. So we've had people push back on Willy's Steven Stamkos suggestion because, and Connor brought this up, when you think of Steven Stamkos, you do not think of the Nashville Predators, you think of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that is something you can consider as well. So it's open to interpretation. We have received pushback on my elimination of Hani Mukhtar from this conversation. Here, for those of you who haven't been listening, here's my explanation for why I am not considering Mukhtar in my top 5. It goes back to what I said yesterday. I, for lack of a better phrase, hold against Mukhtar that MLS is not even close to being the best soccer league in the world. Not even close from my limited understanding of soccer. And again, you can hold that against me. But for as impressive as he's been for Nashville SC, Dylan says, just now hearing this, and I thought Hani immediately should be a no-brainer. Greg says, I don't think the worldwide ranking of the league should disqualify anyone in the top 5. All the other players, everyone is like, you think of them, it's whatever team they play for, or you think of this team, it's definitely their name. When you think of Hani's name, you think of Nashville SC. You think of Nashville SC, Hani is the name you say. He's won an MVP, and he's not even in the top 5.
And that's why I said, that's why I put him in my top 5. One of the reasons was
me too.
Because listen, if you say Tennessee Titans, you're going to think Jeffrey Simmons. If you say the Nashville Predators, one of 2 or 3 names is going to come out, but Yossi's going to be one of them. When you think of Vanderbilt men's basketball, you think of Tyler Tanner first. The women's basketball, you think of Michaela Blakes. When you think of Nashville SC, the first name that comes to mind is Hani Mukhtar. So why would he then be disqualified if he's the best player on your local professional team and he is one of the best players in the league, regardless if it is, the 7th best league in the world? We get that, but it's the only league we have in the U.S.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's a strong argument.
I would put Forsberg over Mukhtar for this reason. Another reason, Forsberg has been in Nashville longer than Mukhtar. How many seasons has Philip Forsberg played for the Predators at this point?
His first was 2013.
So Philip Forsberg has played parts of, hold on, where'd it go? 14 years. He has played part of 14 years in Nashville.
All-time leading goal scorer for the franchise.
Yes.
Stanley Cup final team, as was Yossi.
So again, we are.
So it's like so Forsberg Stamkos is an interesting one because Stamkos dwarfs Forsberg in terms of career achievements, but Forsberg for 14 years for this franchise dwarfs Stamkos, who's only been here for 2 years. That's the crux of the debate.
Yes, and when I unveiled my initial top 5, I had Forsberg ahead of Stamkos. So of those 3, Forsberg, Stamkos, Mukhtar, my vote for the 5th spot is Philip Forsberg.
Mine is Hani Mukhtar.
I have to stick with Stamkos because I had him number 1. So
we need your help. We need your help. 615-737-1025.
But I would endorse either of the Predators over Mukhtar.
Okay.
With just because of the volume of the league, the level of the league in the big picture.
Connor?
Oh no, you're asking me to pick between my 4 and my 5. This is a tough one.
Who did you have originally?
I had Forsberg over Mukhtar. But Derek makes a very good point.
It's a great point.
In that you associate Mukhtar with SC and SC with Mukhtar and vice versa. I could say the same thing for Philip Forsberg.
I was about to say.
You could.
I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to take Philip Forsberg.
Okay, so we've got 2 for Forsberg, 1 for Stamkos, 1 for Mukhtar. We need your help, by the way. 615-737-1025.
What do you think, listeners?
We need your help. Your vote matters in this discussion. So we've got 2 for Forsberg, 1 for Stamkos, 1 for Mukhtar.
And then are we trying to slot 1 through 5 at that point? Once we get to 5,
once we get to 5,
we got a lot of work to do.
We're slotting 1 through 5, and we have to finish this.
We got to finish this by 6.
Yes,
and then we got to find my hat.
Well, we got a theory.
We got a theory.
Yeah. I think I'm
go
not
check the
sure. Well, it still may be up and down the street. I told you it could be no more than 200 feet.
Again, it's I think a lot of you out there are just thinking I'm some big old soccer hater, and I'm not. Soccer is not my favorite sport. That doesn't mean I can't appreciate it. I've really enjoyed the World Cup. I also think name recognition does have a factor. How many casual Nashville sports fans know Philip Forsberg and know Hani Mukhtar?
And I think, look, a fair argument also might be, while it's not the top pro league in soccer, it's the best in the U.S. Mukhtar there, and it's a professional league. Now, you might say, well, the SEC is a professional league.
No,
but
it's not.
You could say that Mukhtar is playing at a higher level than, say, Tyler Tanner. You could make that argument. You could. But we've already established we're not going to open that can of worms because we are unanimous that Tyler Tanner is already in the top 5.
Dylan says maybe a hot take, but I wouldn't put Tyler Tanner in the top 5 at all.
Okay.
Okay.
But Tyler Tanner, sorry, Dylan, Tyler Tanner is in the top 5. We have come to a consensus on Tyler Tanner. One texter says it has to be Forsberg. One a texter also says if you ask people on the street about Mukhtar, they would give you strange looks. Philip or Stammer over him.
It is a very passionate cross-section fan base, the Nashville SC base. They are hardcore. And so if you're in that, it's automatic. They would say Mukhtar. But it doesn't it's like when we asked Easton Freeze. His whole world was the Titans. He was struggling to even come up with where to start with all of the other sports, right? So he had Skoronsky third on the list. For crying out loud.
Yeah, Morgan Cox on there. And I love Morgan Cox. I played with him.
Let's go to our phone line driven by Wilson County, Hyundai.com, and welcome in Bear. Bear, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Yes, guys. How you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah. All right. I agree with Derek. I think you got to go with Mukhtar, especially. I see the argument for Forsberg just because he's a staple and all that, and Yossi. Stammer, he one of the all-time greats, but he ain't done nothing here. And I just feel like it's a matter of what you've done here. Like, are you a all-time great? Are you an all-time Nashville or Middle Tennessee great? And I think Mukhtar is an all-time Middle Tennessee great, even though I'm really not much of a hockey guy, but I got to give the devil his due. And just Stammer just ain't done nothing since he's been here.
Thank you, Bear.
And please don't put Soros on the list. Soros, sorry.
Oh boy! Don't open Soros. Bear, thank you, Bear. Don't open that can of worms.
Leave him alone.
We don't want to trigger Willy. We don't have that much time.
That's a summer debate for another day.
We don't have that much time. All right.
The Avengers.
Well, I think
they have the day off.
I think
exactly.
I think we can agree. I think we can. I think we can agree. I think we can agree on one thing here. Should we eliminate Steven Stamkos from this conversation?
No.
I think so.
Well, okay. It looks pretty clear cut that based on you guys and based on the listener feedback that Forsberg and Yossi get their nod, your nod over Stamkos. Is that fair? That's pretty clear.
I had Stamkos in my top 5, but right. I think based on listener feedback,
they tend to lean towards what have you done in Nashville?
Yes.
And that's great. This is why we have this debate. So I will concede that we have our 5.
So we have our 5.
But do we agree
don't have our 5.
Okay, that Stamkos
it's still Mukhtar and
Philip Forsberg versus Hani Mukhtar for the final spot. We had 3 people for
Okay.
one spot. Now we have 2 people
Okay,
for
so
one spot.
but Derek is the only one that has
No, Connor switched. So
Connor said
Connor
Forsberg,
switched,
right?
yeah.
he
I
said
said Forsberg.
Forsberg.
so the 3 of us. You're the lone holdout now for
Yeah.
Hani. I got voted off the island for first Cam Ward and then Stamkos. So
It is Survivor. That's what this
it
is.
kind of is.
Brad says, as a long-term season ticket holder to Nashville SC, I would vote Forsberg.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Twist. And Forsberg is very connected to Nashville SC.
He
Yeah.
I was
indeed.
about to say he in fact
Yeah.
owns Hani.
He does.
I wouldn't say
He owns a
that.
percentage of
I
Hani.
wouldn't
Partially.
say that. I wouldn't word it like that. But no, it's a
Right. He's an investor in the
yeah,
franchise.
but
yeah.
I understand the whole Philip Forsberg. I get it, and I had a hard time with either him or Mukhtar. But again, I go back to even though Forsberg has been here his whole career, and I get it, he's been fabulous. When you think of the Nashville Predators, his name doesn't come up first. That's why one of the reasons why Yossi was so high on my list.
Mhm.
But when you think about soccer, and again, it's a more of a niche sport here, but their fan base is large and it is growing here in Middle Tennessee. And I think what he's been able to do with this soccer team is what other guys and gals have been able to do with that we put on the list for their teams.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. 615-737-1025, because we actually do need to put together the top 5, like within the top 5.
And they're the only team to win a championship.
I'm not saying anything because I pissed off a lot. I pissed off a lot of
Was it the
Nashville-
MLS championship?
No, was it the MLS Cup? Okay,
Let's not go there.
Okay.
It's not a team thing.
This is like triggering Willy with sorrows.
Right,
Don't
right.
trigger me with that,
Right.
with the first pro title in Tennessee thing. All right, 615-737-1025. All right, it's up to you. Text us during this break, 615-737-1025. The remaining spot goes to either Philip Forsberg or Hani Mukhtar. And I will tabulate the votes during the break. You need to text in now, 615-737-1025. You will help us decide so we can move on to actually ranking the top 5. That's coming up next. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
We have had some fun today on this summer show, and let's keep going with that summer theme that I've been hitting on with our brand new sponsor in Twice Daily. They want to remind you that they have a great rewards program. So we know that on your travels, you run across a lot of different places where you're stopping and getting gas and getting the food. You're trying to figure out dinner. Make it be Twice Daily. And if you're consistent with that, the Twice Daily rewards program is going to unlock special discounts, savings. You have sweepstakes you can enter and a whole lot of other benefits. It pays to be a member with Twice Daily. You're going to earn those points, save money with every visit. So if you're looking for convenience, Twice Daily has you covered. So consistently go to Twice Daily. They've got all your needs, including the hot, fresh pizza. $6 for 2 slices, $2 off whole pizzas if you're a member of that rewards program. So sign up today and make it be Twice Daily. It's Twice Daily, fresh all day.
DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 1025. The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you, continuing our attempt to put together a consensus top 5 list of the top current Nashville sports stars. We are heavily debating 2 players for 1 spot, Philip Forsberg and Hani Mukhtar. And before the break, I said, you will decide. The people will decide. And I have to tell you.
Have they decided?
They have decided. It's Philip Forsberg. Philip Forsberg has defeated Hani Mukhtar in the fan vote. And I appreciate a lot of the passion from the Hani Mukhtar voters. One voter pointed out that, Mike, here I found Mike. Mike says MVP, meaning Mukhtar. Someone would say Forsberg isn't even a top 3 player on the Predators right now. I would disagree with that. He then says, Hani, in all caps. Diane in Laverne says, I was today years old when I found out who Tyler Tanner is. Well, Diane, I think you need to watch more Vanderbilt basketball this season. Yeah. You'll have a great time. But I wouldn't say it was overwhelming. One texter says Forsberg is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. of the Predators. Fan favorite, but really has not been amazing in accomplishments. Hani has the accomplishments here. My vote is for Hani. And I do think that's what makes this tough. I understand, although I would have chosen Forsberg over Mukhtar. I understand that Mukhtar has won an actual MVP award in his league. Philip Forsberg, I'm not sure. I'm going to double check right now. I don't know if Philip Forsberg has ever come close to winning an award. The closest he came, and I do remember this, he was 4th in Rookie of the Year voting in 2014-15. He probably should have been a finalist, but that's the closest he has come to winning a major award in the NHL. But I think Forsberg's longevity in Nashville, record holder for the Predators in many categories, specifically goal scoring, I think that gives Forsberg the edge. And that's what the people have chosen.
Okay.
Gotta go with the people.
Go with it.
Okay, so now we have
our 5.
Them. Yeah.
We have our 5. Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg. Again, the top 5. And I want you to vote too. Yes, you listening right now. 615-737-1025. The top 5. So you're ranking 1 through 5, these 5 players. Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg. All right. Anybody want to take their first crack at it? Willie, Derek, Connor?
If we go with, I think, our consensus of where we ranked these 5 in our originals, that Simmons would have the highest point total, right?
I had
the highest
Simmons,
ranking.
I had Simmons number 1.
I had Simmons 3.
I had him 2.
I had him 1.
Okay, so I think that is going to be the collective best ranking.
I would have absolutely no issue with Jeffrey Simmons number 1 on this list. As I said when we first unveiled our personal top 5s, Jeffrey Simmons is coming off of an incredible season, as we were talking about with Easton Freeze during the previous hour. ESPN's annual list of the top 10 defensive tackles in the NFL is going to come out tomorrow. I think it's Jeremy Fowler. He does this every year. He polls executives and scouts and people in the league and unveils the top 10 for every position. I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Simmons is going to be number 1. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow, obviously. So Jeffrey Simmons is considered, I would say, or should be considered, the top player at his own position in the NFL. He just signed a market resetting contract, highest paid defensive tackle ever, right?
NFL, the recognition of the NFL.
Yes.
He is the leader of the NFL team in town. Although I don't know that you can say right now that he is really in the Hall of Fame conversation yet. He's a really, really good player. I'm not going to rule him off the list, but I think he's got to do quite a bit more before he really gets serious consideration.
Yeah, if he continues to play at this level or even close to it, I think for another 3 years, I think there would be a strong argument, if not just a flat out, yes, he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, but I think there would be a strong argument. I just keep going back to Michaela Blake's. I just think as great as Jeffrey Simmons was this season, and I understand it's not apples to apples because Jeff doesn't play offense, even though he has played offense before with the Titans a few times. I just think that Michaela Blake's, from a team standpoint, she elevated her team more than anybody.
I had Blake's number 2 on my initial list, so I will not argue with Derek if Michaela Blake's is number 2. Are you saying Michaela Blake's over Jeffrey Simmons?
I'm cool with Jeffrey Simmons, but I still believe she is the top sports person in the Middle Tennessee area. I mean, and one of the top in the state of Tennessee.
Okay, so let's give just a couple of things for people that have not really drilled down on how great Blake's was, because I think it's one or the other, right? It's going to be Blake's or Simmons, number 1, number 2. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
I think the next 3 are in some order, but put 3, 4, 5. We agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Blake's National Player of the Year finalist last season. And so she was the National Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. As a freshman, she had back-to-back 50-point games. She set this past year, her sophomore year, she was the SEC Player of the Year, first-team All-American, the Ann Myers Drysdale Award.
National Shooting Guard.
That's the Naismith basketball starting 5, right? So she was one of the 5 best players, right? Led the NCAA in scoring, set a national high for 30-plus point games playing in the SEC. And if you watch, it wasn't the non-conference games racking up 30-point games against lower Division I teams.
Top
she
25
was doing
teams.
this in top 25 games. So, I mean, she is up there. She is up there. I would have thrown her over the top, I think, if they had been able to get to the Final 4 or even the Final 8. It was disappointing, and it was going on when we were on the air, and we were distracted, hoping that they pulled it out. They just didn't play well in the Sweet 16 game. That was a disappointing end. And of course, they lost in the first round of the SEC tournament, so it didn't end with a bang, but they made it to the Sweet 16, and she was a big reason.
Okay, so let's do this. Are we all in agreement that the top 2 in some order is Jeffrey Simmons and Michaela Blake's?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Name the order you have them in. Go, Willie.
Simmons Blake's.
Derek.
Blake Simmons.
Me, Simmons Blake's.
Simmons Blake's.
All right. I think that's what the top 2 is going to be. I think it's gonna
listeners.
So let's some of our listeners here. One texter says 1 Simmons, 2 Blake's, 3 Tanner, 4 Yossi, 5 Forsberg. Diane, 1 Yossi, 2 Simmons, 3 Blake's, 4 Forsberg, 5 Tanner. So I think we have come to a consensus that Jeffrey Simmons will be number 1. Michaela Blake's will be number 2.
Okay.
So now we have to figure out 3, 4, and 5 between Tyler Tanner, Roman Yossi, and Philip Forsberg. Who wants to take a crack at 3 through 5? Willie, you've got your notepad. Why don't you go first?
Well, I have to stay with how I've had it from the start, because I will say Tanner 3. I will go just based on how we have arrived at this. I'll have to go Yossi 4 and Forsberg 5.
I'm the same, Willie, because I had Tanner 2 in my voting, but we all had, it's a consensus of Jeff being 1, Michaela being 2. So I would say Tyler Tanner 3, Yossi 4, and Forsberg 5.
So you said Tanner, Yossi, Forsberg.
Yep.
Both of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would have Forsberg, Tanner, Yossi. My knock against Tanner would be, see, this is where it kind of gets confusing, because my knock against Tanner would be he's had 1 great season. I think he's going to be higher. If and when we do this exercise a year from now, I think Tanner's going to be even higher. But he's had 1 breakout year. Forsberg is coming off of his third 40-goal season. He's been a part of the Predators for 14 years. He's been a big part of the Predators for 14 years. I would skew Forsberg over Tanner. Yossi does have the individual hardware that Tanner and Forsberg do not. But of those three, Yossi had the worst season this past season. And I consider that in my calculus. So I would have Simmons Blakes 1, 2, Forsberg 3, Tanner 4, Yossi 5. Connor?
I would flip your sandwich. I would go Simmons 1, Blake's 2, obviously. I would go Yossi at 3 just because of the lineage of his career. He's a Norris Trophy winner. He's been one of the most consistent Predators of all time. I would go Tanner at 4, and this is coming from the only one that left Tanner off his top 5. I would go Tanner at 4. I think you're right, Adam. He's going to be a preseason All-American. I think he has the opportunity to win SEC Player of the Year, if not be an All-American at the end of the season. So I would go with him at 4, and then I would put Forsberg at 5.
Okay, so Connor, you had, say that one more time. I
had Yossi, Tanner, Forsberg.
Okay, so we've got some tough choices to make. So Derek and Willy.
We need the people.
Yes.
We need the people to vote.
Okay, so Willy and Derek have this is for spots 3, 4, and 5.
You've made a compelling argument that Tanner's credentials have skyrocketed, and he had a very good freshman year on a team that went from, not on the radar at all to a surprise NCAA tournament team. So he had a good freshman year, but he has gone way, way up on 1 year. And so you make a compelling case that Yossi and Forsberg year in and year out have been decorated for a long time.
Yeah, so Willy and Derek have Tanner at 3, Yossi at 4, Forsberg at 5. I have Forsberg at 3, Tanner at 4, Yossi at 5. Connor has Yossi at 3, Tanner at 4. Between Tyler Tanner, Roman Yossi, and Philip Forsberg again. Willy and Derek agree. Tyler Tanner at 3, Roman Yossi at 4, Philip Forsberg at 5. I have Forsberg at 3, Tanner at 4, Yossi at 5. Connor has Yossi at 3, Tanner at 4, Forsberg at 5.
He flipped the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
He flipped, indeed. He flipped the sandwich. It's still a Tyler Tanner sandwich because he's in the middle. He just flipped the bread. 615-737-1025. We need your help. 615-737-1025 because we've got to figure this out before the end of the show, and the end of the show is coming up quickly. We wrap up the show. Coming up next, Willy Dunnick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
Dimitri.
If you ever thought that'll never happen to me, I used to think the same thing. I'm Derek Mason, and then that winter storm left my family without power for an entire week. 7 days of scrambling for hotel rooms, checking on my house, and wishing I'd done something sooner. I wasn't going to let that happen again, so I called Tri-State Water Power and Air for a Kohler generator. From the very beginning, they made the process simple. They came to my home, performed a free on-site assessment, helped me choose the right Kohler generator for my family's needs, handled the professional installation, and they continue to service it long after the install. Now, when severe weather rolls through Middle Tennessee, I have confidence knowing my family can stay safe, comfortable, and powered up. Don't wait until the next outage to which you've been prepared. Don't wait until the next outage to which you've been prepared. Call Tri-State Water Power and Air today. Schedule your free on-site assessment and let them help you find the right Kohler generator for your home. Visit tristatewhywait.com. Can do, I wasn't willing to leave my family's comfort and safety up to chance. That's why I turned to Tri-State Water Power and Air for a Kohler generator. What impressed me most was how easy they made everything. They came to my home, completed a free on-site assessment, helped me choose the right Kohler generator for my family's needs, handled the installation from start to finish, and they continued to stand by their work with dependable service. Now, whether it's a winter storm, high winds, or another unexpected outage, I know my home will be powered up. I know my home will have power when it needs it. That confidence is worth everything. If you're thinking about a whole home generator, don't put it off until the next storm is headed our way. Call Tri-State Water Power and Air today. Schedule your free on-site assessment and let their experts help you find the perfect Kohler generator for your home. Visit tristatewhywait.com. Why wait? Be ready.
Tomorrow we gotta play the clip of the guy trying to say something to you.
If you're thinking about a whole home generator, don't put it off until the next storm is headed our way. Call Tri-State Water Power and Air today. Schedule your free on-site assessment and let their experts help you find the perfect Kohler generator for your home. Visit tristatewhywait.com. Why wait? Be ready. Which is the top one. Okay. You don't have to spend a week without power to know how important it is to be prepared. That's all you need? Okay.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Wrapping up a fun program. We are so close, so close to coming to a consensus on the top 5 current Nashville sports stars. So here's what we've already determined. Number 1, the biggest current Nashville sports star is Jeffrey Simmons. Number 2 on that list is Michaela Blakes. So now we've got 3 athletes left, and we're trying to order them: Tyler Tanner, Roman Yossi, and Philip Forsberg. Willie and Derek have Tanner at 3, Yossi at 4, Forsberg at 5. I have Forsberg at 3, Tanner at 4, Yossi at 5. Connor has Yossi at 3, Tanner at 4, and Forsberg at 5. Again, here would be my argument against Tyler Tanner at 3. He is clearly on the rise, and I think he's going to be a major star in college basketball this season. I can't wait to continue to watch him play. I think if he continues on this path, he will be a lottery pick in the NBA draft next year. But it's still one great year, but only 1 year, versus Forsberg and Yossi, who have a longer track record of success in their particular sport.
And I get it. But this is the same thing we were doing last year with Diego. And Diego had a good season when he first got here,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't until last year that really vaulted him into the iconic guy he was at the moment. And that's why we named him the number one guy, because of that year. And had it. I mean, at least for me, it didn't have anything to do with the prior year. It had everything to do with what he was doing for that team that year, which was a lot, and what he meant to them. That's why I look at Tanner, and I get it. His freshman year they didn't set off any alarms, and he wasn't, doing anything. He was barely playing, but he came back in, he reinvented himself. He got better, and he went from averaging 4 points to 19 points, being the face of the program and elevating his team. He and Michaela Blakes are the only two individuals outside of Hani Muhtar that elevated their team to heights. That's why I have Tanner so high.
Willie, anything to add to that?
No, I think I want to know what the people think.
Okay, let's see what the people think.
Is what I want.
We need your help again.
We have done it. I want to pat ourselves in the back. I think we've gone through a really good process here. We've taken everybody's input. It was a vote off the island kind of survivor thing to get us down to the 5. Now we got the last chapter here.
All right,
to nail down the order of the 5.
We've basically got 10 minutes to figure this out. All right, so again, we need your help. 615-737-1025. Order these 3 athletes from 3 to 5: Tyler Tanner, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg. Steven the Big Dog with a D-A-W-G, dog. Steven the Big Dog says 3 Tanner, 4 Josi, 5 Forsberg. So Steven the Big Dog agrees with Willie and Derek. Tanner at 3, Josi at 4, Forsberg at 5. Brandy, who has been participating throughout the program, and Brandy, we appreciate you, has Forsberg at 3, Josi at 4, Tanner at 5. And I know Brandy, she's a big Predators fan, so she's biased towards her Predators players. So she's got Forsberg at 3, Josi at 4, Tanner at 5. Let's go to our phone line, driven by Wilson County, Hyundai.com, and welcome in Derek. Derek, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
DMase, always got to holler at you, bro. One of my heroes. Love you to death.
Thank you.
But you just said everything that I was going to say. I think it's more what they've done for the team. Diego, I've been a Thunder fan my whole life, been in Nashville whole life. He brought us to places we had never been before. And even though Vanderbilt basketball has been there several times, we were nothing for a long time there. Stackhouse just couldn't get us to where we needed to get to. And this kid, Tanner, I mean, they granted had a lot of team players, but man, he took that team and he went places with it. And I'm like you, what he does next year is going to be probably unmeasurable. But I would have probably put Tanner at 2, but I won't argue with what you guys have done. But he's definitely got to be in at 3. Always great pleasure listening to you guys. I'll let you later.
Thank you, Derek. Here would be my counter to Derek.
Mm-hmm.
That Derek. And also this Derek.
Yes.
To both Dereks.
Yes.
This Derek on the phone said Tyler Tanner brought the Commodores to new heights. Did Roman Josi and Philip Forsberg not also bring the Predators to new heights at some point?
Yes, you're right. But when you think
not as recently as Tanner,
yeah,
but Forsberg and Josi,
that's part of it is part of the criteria in our mind. This is, again, we left so much to interpretation. We didn't really try to pin anybody down. It's only what you did in the last 12 months.
I'm more
broad.
Recency bias, right?
Yeah, I am
list.
too. I am too.
So,
and the caller, Derek, I thought brought in a good piece. Number one, the context of Vanderbilt basketball. There's a lot of pride in the history, the heritage of it, and they had gone through a down period. And Tyler Tanner was a big part of the rise again. And now, especially look at the anticipation of him returning and coming back. I think that lends itself to being a Nashville star. So that the recency of it, with the Predators being a little bit the last 2 years of a down cycle, that's what put Tanner up there for me.
Kevin says, Josi is the face of the Predators, won a Norris Trophy, been in Middle Tennessee much longer. Josi 3, Tanner 4, Forsberg 5.
That's my thought process.
Drew says, Josi 3, Forsberg 4, Tanner 5. Tanner just not enough of a body of work yet. And that's where I am on Tyler Tanner. For as much as I love watching Tyler Tanner, I need to see more. I need to see more.
And if we had specifically said in your criteria that it's we're weighing the career arc more, then I think it would be easier. But if it's right now,
yes,
the star quality, whose star is shining the brightest, I think where they are right now in the moment, I'm leaning towards Tanner.
Connor, you and I we both have Tanner at 4. Are you willing to move Tanner to 3?
I would fight against it just because I think Willy makes a great point in right now what the moment is. I mean, Yossi is sliding in his career, not significantly, but sliding. I'm just my thought process is similar to what a texter said, in that when you think of the Nashville Predators, you think of the captain. You think of Roman Yossi. He's got hardware to go with that. He's a Norris Trophy winner. And Forsberg as well. I mean, he's, like you said, the all-time franchise-leading goal scorer. It's the volume of work that you mentioned for me, for Tyler Tanner. And I'm not by any means discrediting what he's done. He's a phenomenal basketball player. I don't know. I would push against it. But if he were to move up to number 3, I wouldn't be upset about it.
The next texter to give us their top 3 in that order, Tanner, Yossi, Forsberg, I will weigh that in this decision. So the next texter has a lot of power here.
Okay.
Tanner, Yossi, Forsberg.
I think we need suspenseful music when Judge Adam makes the final call in the next 3 minutes. I mean,
like Deal or No Deal?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. Connor, whip it up for us. All right.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, so I'm having the hard time. We don't have that much time, but to me, I look at body of work, and it's not like Forsberg had a 15-goal season. He had another 40-goal season this past year. So when it comes to Forsberg versus Tanner, I give the nod to Forsberg because he's also coming off of a good season. The team did not have a great season, but Forsberg is coming off of a good season, and he's just done it for longer. That's why I would put Forsberg at 3 and Tanner at 4. Kevin from Smyrna says Yossi 3, Tanner 4, Forsberg 5, which is what I think Connor had. Yossi, Tanner, Forsberg. I don't know. What should we do, guys? We don't have that much time.
Oof. I mean, we've made good arguments all the way around.
I just think for this year, the accomplishment, because Tanner will never be able to rack up, what Philip Forsberg has,
right? Because his collegiate career is going to be over next year.
Exactly. So that's kind of it's like, man, it's kind of a thing you just can't change. So with that being said, I'm just looking at the year and what did it translate into in regards to the team?
I think that's the best argument for Tanner is if the Predators had come off a year where they made the playoffs, this is why, like, my original list for people that haven't followed this since 3 o'clock, I had Yossi and Forsberg a little lower. I had them on the slight outside of the top 5. I had them at 6 and 7, and that was largely because the team hasn't made the playoffs the last year. They're not coming off a year. They did a really nice job digging out of a big hole, but it wasn't the year that you would have them at the top of their game. And Yossi, as we've all admitted, it wasn't a common Yossi season. It wasn't a Norris Trophy level year for him. He had some injuries. He did okay once he got healthy, and the team started playing whether he got healthy. But that Vanderbilt basketball season was a memorable season. They had a great year.
I am willing to concede. If you want to put Tanner at 3, I am willing to concede. Also for the interest of time. But I am willing to concede on Tyler Tanner. Thank you.
Calling a cold red on it.
Yes. All right. So we'll put Tanner at 3.
Okay.
Now we just have to figure out which order.
I finally won part of the argument. I had Cam Ward and Steven Stamkos. You guys have rejected both of them in the top 5.
A win is a win.
Yossi, Forsberg. Which order? I say Forsberg, Yossi.
I say Yossi, Forsberg.
I say Forsberg because he had a better year than
I go Forsberg, Yossi.
Oh, we're gonna split this.
Okay. The next texter.
It wasn't Roman's best year.
The next person who says Yossi or Forsberg on the text line, that will be the decision because we do have to get out of here. Let's
737-1025.
Okay, hold on.
a scary movie or something.
This is Deal or No Deal.
I know, but it's,
yeah.
all right.
It sounds a little bit like Halloween.
Yes. I know.
We're waiting. We're waiting. The next texter who
Come
says
on.
Yossi or Forsberg. Come on.
Y'all know what it is.
And then we have to leave. All right, we're waiting. We're gonna. I'll give you 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds as you listen to that. Deal or no deal? Brandy,
Tanner.
faithful listener, says
Oh,
Philip Forsberg.
Okay.
So
it
there
is.
is your list. We have
There it
compiled
is.
our top 5 current Nashville sports stars, 1 through 5 in order. Jeffrey Simmons, Michaela Blakes, Tyler Tanner, Philip Forsberg, Roman Yossi. How do we feel about that?
I feel good about
Feel
it.
good about
I
it.
feel very good about it.
Yeah.
What a wonderful day.
Now we need to
on the
make an
program.
award and send it to the winner.
You know, I think the texts are rolling in. Most people did say Philip Forsberg.
Yes.
But Brandy was first. Thank you, Brandy. And that'll do it for us today. Thank all of you. Outstanding. I mean it. Outstanding participation. I'm going to be honest with you, because y'all don't see the grid. We were not planning for this topic to go the entire show. We were not. But because of your participation, your feedback, your insight, we were able to make this basically the entire show. And that's why we love doing this for you every weekday. We will be back tomorrow with a more structured program. Basically, we're going to do the show we meant to do today tomorrow, but it's still a good show. But thank you so much for all of your participation. And congratulations to Jeffrey Simmons. You can put that right up there with your big-ass check that you got for the Tennessee Titans. We will talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Be love on your people. Have a safe, blessed, and wonderful day. I love you. The team love you. You hear that music? Don't you forget about us, because we will not forget about you. We will be back on these airways starting at 3 p.m. on 102.5 The Game. And as I say, we're going to be talking and
You're going to be listening.
peace.